Yeah, all right, great. Guys. So we're just waiting for Alicia.
I'm so dying for this announcement. You can see I'm so hyped right now.
Where's Alicia?
But we have to talk about this show because this show, has anybody rewatched it yet again?
I've watched 1.5 twice.
You did? I want to go back and watch it again.
I put it on background. That's going to be my background show now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch it in case I'm mad.
Yeah. I watched it on 1.5 after. Like, so I watched it once to like overall, and then I went back and watched it on the 1.5 speed on Netflix to like kind of get my mind together on it.
All right. So everybody's watched the show, right? Has anybody not watched up to the last episode?
Oh, we had to. I thought it was mandatory to like be here tonight. We had to.
We're talking about everything in the chats. Like maybe someone didn't finish it. Like, you know, there will be spoilers. Okay, Sim, you didn't watch it, but you need to stick around because it's about to be a party up in here. So we're gonna talk. You're gonna watch it anyway. Here be spoilers. Oh, yeah. Yes, here be spoilers.
Here
a mess in a dress.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with episode 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have Simon, we have Daphne. Simon's butt. I'm the only one that thinks it's like a little flat.
I do not think he has a flat butt. I appreciated his butt. I thought Anthony's butt was a little
yeah. His was crazy.
Really? Are we talking about Simon's butt?
Anthony's butt.
Wait. Are we talking about Simon's question?
I like Anthony. I just think he's so good looking, and I think he got into the mutton chop.
I know you love Anthony. I see.
They were natural. He grew those himself.
Just to let you know, Simon has an amazing butt, if that's what we're talking about. And I have plenty of booty for both of us, so we're good. So we are totally good. I'm okay with his butt.
Oh, man. There was a lot of butt in the show. That's all I got to say.
Right up against the
right off the bat.
Yep. Right.
Like the poor chauffeur that had to like keep watch while Anthony was like chopping down the tree, right?
You know what? If I was gonna open a show, that's how I'd open it, is like showing my rakes be rakes.
Yeah.
Which they don't do in the books. They just like, he's a rake for both of them. And they're showing you.
Yeah, they're showing you. This is what a rake is. Absolutely.
Even Simon, because I was not ever in the books. Him like being with other people.
Right.
No, the whole opposite thing is completely made up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's so infatuated with her.
Yes. Why?
I mean, really?
I didn't get it.
I didn't even like it.
Developed more for book 2, season 2.
You think?
I think it developed Anthony's, like why then he would be so adamant that he can't love Kate. Other than the fact that he thinks he's going to die like his dad. I think that would give more reasoning to why.
Yeah. And then when I saw that thing, Jessica, that you had sent, I was like, they better have a Kate. Like, for me, like, Kate is a main character. And if they didn't bring a Kate in, I think I'd be devastated because her character was awesome.
Someone said that the producers or whoever said Kate's in episode 1 or 2 and we see her, but they don't say who she is. I don't know if that's true or not.
Girls, anybody out there, if you know who Kate is, please put it in the comments below so we can go back to episode 1 or 2. If you know some information we don't, I would like to know.
How they can have a show without her, especially as you go down the series and the books. I mean, especially this last book, she played such an integral part in it. I don't see how you can't have Kate.
Right. Because I'm going to be honest, like, I don't like the opposite singer as an end game. Like, I just don't like it.
It was like too much with her. He was too obsessed with her. And how you keep seeing her with other men. Like he kept
seeing he's jealous though. He's jealous.
I know, yeah, but like I don't know.
He only got jealous when she was with other guys, or else he didn't even think of her.
Mm-hmm. It was wanting to have. That's what.
Yeah.
He wants. Yeah.
Right.
So how should we do this? Should we talk episodes or we talk character breakdowns? Because
we could talk. You can talk whatever pops into your mind about the show, like what you liked, what you didn't like, what stood out.
So in episode 1, I did not like how Anthony was an a-hole to Violet.
Yeah.
And I am Team Anthony. Like Anthony is my jam. And when he was
over the
being
top,
a jerk to her, I was like, this does not have the Bridgerton love. And then, but the scene with the dinner and the peas, like, yes, this did. But him to her did not have the Bridgerton respect that I have like come to enjoy and expect. And I was like, oh, what? Where did that come from? Did that come out of left field from anybody else, or is that just me?
I think especially with Nigel. Like, he was like, you're going to marry him. And she's like, no. And he was so adamant. And he was way more over the top protective than he was in the show. Because it was like, oh, my brothers are scaring everyone off. We see him literally scaring them off. I thought it was more figurative in the book and not literal. But
yeah, when they like come, they're all trying to, he's like in the room, like staring, like you're in my seat. I'm like, dude, you don't need to be such a jerk. Like, but I did like when he was a jerk to Violet, and the Violet's like, well, you have a mistress across town. I was like, yes, go Violet.
I kind of like the overprotective brother. Not that he was like, you have to marry Nigel. I didn't like that, but I like that he was scaring everybody off. Like, you're never going to be with anybody because I keep running people off because they're not good enough for you. I did like that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, yes.
To a certain point.
Right. Then you just took it a little too far. Like, you will be marrying him. And I'm like, oh no. That was a bad choice.
No, I did like that they kept the scene where Daphne hits Nigel.
I love that part.
Yeah, I like
it. Wasn't the meet cute? Yeah.
That part in there. Like, that I did like that. I mean,
I think they found the perfect character, the perfect actor for Nigel's character, because he was just so pedophile-y, creepy.
Yeah, I was gonna say gross. Like,
it was really pedophile though, with the comment where he was like, "I've loved you since I was young." She's like, "When I was
3 or 5."
Right.
Yes.
That's gross. I mean, he's just a gross character. So the fact that she hit him and then he got his ass beat a little later down the road, it was great.
And then he came back with the papers to be like, I'm gonna, out you.
Yeah, it's like
you were in the garden with her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, do you really want to be with somebody who's clearly rejecting you? Clearly rejecting you.
Yeah, but like when you're the diamond of the first water or first order or whatever it is, like, you're the best. So I could see why he would like overly pursue her, because you always want the best, even if they don't like you, I guess. I don't know.
Is Nigel supposed to end up with a Featherington? Did that happen in the book? I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Someone said they did.
I think he does.
Wait, does he end up with a stepsister?
He ends up with a Featherington, because in this book, actually, Kate says Nathan Burbrook is the brother of my sister-in-law's sister. Penelope married Colin. Yes, he does end up with a Featherington. I think he does. I am 98%.
Annie says yes. Annie says he does.
Annie would know. Annie knows.
Pixie too. So what did you guys think about the queen? I love the fact that there's a queen. I love the fact that it gives everyone like a social stature, like to meet, and like the balls, and it's like you have to impress the queen, and she's just like overseeing everything. And I think it's cool, because what I don't like is that we already know who Lady Whistledown is, because they freaking ruin it in the end of the show, which stinks, right? Because where is what's her name? The one that does the voice?
Julie Andrews.
What's going to happen to Julie Andrews in book 2? There's going to be no more Julie Andrews, because now we know who Lady Whistledown is.
They might still have her. They might still have her, because you don't know who. They don't know. We know who
the other characters
is, but nobody else does. So maybe they're going to play it like that, like, since we know, but they don't. They're going to play it like they're going to keep her and she's still going to be putting out her posts, but now
around.
you're going to keep an eye on Penelope now. Like she's going to be on the back, like you're going to keep watching her in scenes now.
In regards to the queen, I still can't get that one scene out of my head where she was sniffing tobacco, apparently.
She was
that bothered me. I don't know why it bothered me. It bothered me. I was like, wait a minute.
Is that stuff, was that back then? Because I had no idea what it was.
So it's tobacco. Everybody said it was tobacco. Whoever doesn't take the time to, find out what snuff is, you're going to think it's cocaine.
Right.
She was like, take this away. Bring me something fresh. Like, whoa.
That's originally what I thought it was. But just the fact that, I don't know, tobacco back in the day must have been made a hell of a lot better than it is now. Because I was in high school and I've smoked in high school. I cannot imagine that nastiness going up my nose.
No. You guys, can we talk about Lady Danbury and how freaking awesome she is?
Love her.
Like, I like the queen, but I loved Lady Danbury. Like, I'm just like, you were my girl. You could do no wrong. And you go kick some ass because we're on Chris's channel. I'm going to throw that out there.
And the fact that they introduced her when Simon was little, I love that she was a part of that.
Yeah.
Without her, he wouldn't have learned how to lose his stutter. She took over.
They replaced his maid with Lady,
which was great because we were all left wondering, well, what happened to his nurse? So now we know. I like her there, and she continues on. Like, it was just awesome. They did great with that.
Yeah. Love her.
Yeah.
Love her.
And she's got that attitude.
And I loved how her colors. I feel like she wore a lot of very similar colors. Like she wore very like rich jewel toned colors.
A lot of purple.
I was into. And like actually with the one scene that I wrote down for her from episode 2 was how she talks to Simon about how he must be the most terrifying creature in the room. And that you must show everyone that you're worthy of everything.
Their attention.
And I feel like in the book, he uses like the stutter and that very well, that he's quiet and he uses it as like an arrogance. Whereas here, I just feel like he was just kind of arrogant. Like, and he was being the most terrifying creature, but it wasn't necessarily, I don't feel like they really showed him struggling with the stutter as much as I think he did in the book.
Right.
Like, especially after the scene, which we will get to, the scene that we have not spoken of yet, then in the book, it feels like he had so much more hard time speaking and a hard time getting it out. And whereas in the show, I feel like the stutter was just kind of like at the beginning. And then it was like, now he's just arrogant.
He was an adult where we saw it. At least what I saw it was after that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't see it as struggle as much as I thought I saw him in the book. Like, but I still think his dad was an asshole. And when his dad was like, when he was like, you die, you speak, you effing monster, I was like, way to go. It's kind of,
they did a really good job depicting how evil his father was in the show. Like,
and the backstory.
Yeah, they did a really good job to let you see like why he was so adamant about not having kids. And I like the scene where he like whispered in his dad's ear, like,
Did she freeze up?
Yeah.
Oh, you're frozen.
I'm frozen?
Oh, now you're back.
No,
you're back.
Oh, okay. That last sentence again.
That's the last part of what you
said about when he whispered in somebody's ear.
When he whispered into the father's ear that the name was going to die with him. Like, I love that scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think though, what in the chat, Jacqueline said non-book readers might like Simon more in the book, but don't know how much depth he has. I feel like we got more of Simon in the book, and that's why I like him so much in the show. I don't know how people who haven't read it feel about Simon.
Right.
So I actually asked my mom that because my mom hadn't read the book.
Okay.
And like she watched the show, and then I gave her the book. She was like, "This is based on a book," and I'm like, "Really? Are you kidding me?" I was like, "What do you think I've been doing for 8 weeks on a Saturday night?" And she's like, "Oh, that's what," I'm like, "Oh." So she's like, it was like hilarious. She's like, "I'm watching this Bridgerton show. You would love it." And I'm like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?"
I love your mom already.
She's killing me. She's killing me slowly. But then I gave her the book, and she was like, "Oh, I I did not really realize that he had all these other, like, this, that he was the way he was, and he had this stutter. And she's like, I just thought he was kind of like arrogant. I'm like,
right.
So I think, and then I asked her a lot of questions about the consent scene. So we can, because I wanted to see from someone who hadn't read the book to then, if you watch the show, where it was. So,
right.
But we can.
I think my only thing with Simon is like when he did get flustered, I wish I would have seen more of a stutter. Like when he was like debating with Daphne, I wish it would have came out then, because then he was getting frustrated. So then he wouldn't think about himself speaking. He would be like, okay, you know, like just to hold up on his lines just a little bit. But I mean, it was an awesome show. If that's my biggest complaint, A+ all the way.
Do we want to think about? Go ahead.
I think it did a great job entertainment-wise. And I'll just kind of lead this segue into controversial topic with, you know, race in the show with the characters and their roles. When I went into that show, I went in watching it for entertainment purposes only. I knew that that's what it was going to be. It was going to be a fun, lighthearted show. I appreciated the fact that it was very much inclusive. Mm-hmm. Based on the time frame that these books were in, you kind of had to find a way to modernize the show so that people would watch it. You know, I particularly don't like watching a lot of history shows and movies because it just depresses me and brings me to tears and just really hurts my heart. So I try really not to watch those shows. But this show, I like that it was all inclusive. And yes, back in that time frame, you wouldn't have seen a Lady D in that role. You wouldn't have seen a queen, a person of color in a queen's role. I did not take that, me being a person of color, I did not take that as a negative. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the fact that they brought in some gay aspects was brilliant, because it is now 2021. It's 2021. You know, this show should be something that everybody can watch. And it wasn't meant to be factually 100% on point the way it was back in the 1800s.
Right. And it's not factually 100% anyways, regardless of race. Like they talked about, none of their teeth would be as white and as straight as they are. They don't stink because none of them are going to be showering or bathing every day. Like, it's not
exactly.
Yeah. And wasn't there a scene where Lady Danbury said something about how he needed, was it part of maybe when he was saying he needed to be worthy because their queen is of color and the king married her and kind of gave them this title and gave them this land. I don't remember if that's what it was.
They had a conversation, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it felt like. That was how they kind of showed, like that was how they were like, this is how we're going to make it inclusive. We're going to, how they acknowledged in the show, like, yeah, we kind of know that this is not historically factual, but
it wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. Like, I feel like people who are sitting there saying like, this is horrible, like this is not how it was in history. Well, go watch the Real History Channel, because Netflix is not it. Like, you should not be getting your actual history from Netflix. Like, I'm sorry. You know, it's totally made up. And I loved the characters that they had. I thought it was great. I loved it.
That kind of broke my heart though, when he I stare at him across the room, you know, and I feel like we have, lost moments together. And I just wished for him that like he could come out and be like, I could be with my person, you know, like that part was just like, oh, I felt sad.
So what did you guys think about how they represented the consent scene? I think personally, this is my opinion, that they did it, they actually addressed it, which I thought was great because it was a big part of the controversy with book one. But I think that the way they depicted it was a lot better than how the book was representing that scene. I think they did it a little bit more, I don't want to say tastefully, I don't know if that's the right word, but they did it where it wasn't so like, where you can imagine it being such an aggressive scene.
Because
they
the fact that he wasn't drunk.
They didn't show her like locking her legs or holding him down. It was more of his face like, oh my God, this is happening right now. Like, and I can't control myself. And, you know, her knowing, they show like she knows she was preparing herself for what she was going to do. And for her, it was more like, you lied to me and you deceived me. And, you know, how dare you keep this big thing from me? And for me, I didn't see it as rape. I mean, that's my opinion. And it's also Julia's opinion when she wrote the book. It was consensual, and she said so. It was consensual. They both went into the act knowing that they were going into the act. Did she have ulterior motives? Yes, she did. But she didn't make him do something that he didn't want to do, except for the final, you know, explosive aspect of it.
And Lisa also mentioned that they ended up taking out the alcohol.
Yes, which made it better.
Scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did that. However, I feel like they should have at least put a trigger warning. Okay, because you've modernized the whole show up until this point, all inclusive. You could have at least put a trigger warning at the beginning for those going in who may not have ever read the books. I do like the fact that they took the alcohol part out. What I was disappointed in, and I know that there's time constraints for the show, but I really wanted to see more of Simon's rejection afterwards towards that. His hurt
for months, or at least a month.
Yeah, he was gone for months.
He didn't take it as a rape. It was more a violation of their trust with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there should have been a trigger warning. I don't think there was a struggle. I don't think that she
there needed to be a trigger warning for consensual. I don't know the right word I'm trying to look for, but there was a point in Simon's face where you could clearly see
he said
that it wasn't what he wanted.
Yes.
And it needed to. So if you're not going to put a trigger warning at the beginning, then what I would have liked to have seen after the show, because many shows do this, have an actor pop up and say, just know that consent can be withdrawn at any point, and you should not move forward if consent is being withdrawn.
So this is my issue. This is my issue. Okay. And this is my channel, and I don't care. I say whatever, right? You guys can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Drop the F-bomb, drop the D-bomb, whatever. My thing is, so many times in a relationship, when a man and a woman have sex, the woman doesn't want to have kids. And guess what? She gets pregnant. It happens all the time. Could be pre-cum. Could be that he came without telling her and just wanted to enjoy himself. Is that considered rape?
I think she froze up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. All I heard was, is that considered rape? And
I stopped. Is that considered rape?
Sorry.
No, I'm asking you now. Is that considered rape?
But I'm not saying
consent. That is like she's not consenting to it. If it's an accident, it's not. But
to sex. You're not consenting to wanting to have a baby. That's not rape.
But that's not.
If you have sex. The side effect of having sex is a possibility that you can get pregnant. You are consenting to the act, but if you consent to the act, you have to also consent to the fact that you're aware of what could happen when you have sex. So you have the option to not have sex or to protect yourself. That's how I feel. It happens all the time with women.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me?
No, we hear you. We're just processing.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, we're processing.
I do think what Christy said though is that it's more like there's consent and then there's rape, because what Daphne does is not consent. He did not consent to having a child with her.
Right.
So I guess my question is that she's a buck 20, and he's what, like 170 pounds? Why, if he
throw her off of him?
That's what I was thinking.
But they do that.
Can you imagine the reaction if he just lifted her up and threw her off of him? No,
I mean, if he didn't want it, I could see that taking place to be like, I don't want this. And kind of throwing
then
her
he
off.
would be the aggressor and he would be the villain.
That's true. That's true. I'm playing devil's advocate on both sides.
Brought that up in my video, though. Like, no, he's not going to do that.
Right.
That's true. But he could also say the word stop.
He could have, absolutely.
And then at that point in time, when he said stop,
the effect afterwards, you know, because in the book he like left, but at the, you know, in the show it was just, oh, I'm gonna stop talking to you for an hour or so. I wanted to see more of that conflict that he, you know, that he had afterwards.
Right. I totally think he let her off way too easy. This is a gray area. I think that what she did was morally wrong. I am not consenting Daphne at all because, girl, you need to talk your issues out, not sit there and take the lead. Like, I do not consent with what Daphne did one iota. But I think for right now, we're talking of like I'm not like a mind reader. So like, it's one of those things, like if I'm doing something to somebody and they're not communicating with me, I know what I'm doing is morally wrong, but I need some verbal confirmation, I guess, as a person. And this is just my opinion that what I'm doing is wrong. And then I'll stop. Like what I'm doing, I'll just cut it off. But it's one of those things where, and she could be very manipulative. Who knows? I mean, this is just so gray. It's ridiculous. Like it is like swimming in the gray area. So, I mean, I could see both sides of the story so clearly in my mind. It's crazy. So it's one of those things where it's like, you can go either way. I totally agree with that. And if you do have, and I totally get this, if you do have an issue with any sort of rape, I mean, anything, it's nice to have that consent or that trigger just to know what you're walking into, because I mean, anything, I mean, the littlest things can trigger you. And I get that. Like that to me is like, I don't want to sit there and put someone through a traumatic experience, but this is as gray can get in my eyes anyway. So just throwing that out there for you guys.
I do, though, think that the show was much more calculating on her part, because to me in the book, it was more like spur of the moment, like, oh, now he's drunk and let's see what's going to happen. Right. But in the show, she was thinking about it, and she went in there with the intent of having sex and not letting him do what he wanted to do. So I don't think I like that part about the book. I wish it was more like she realized in the moment and then it was like,
wasn't it like that in the book though? In the book, it was like that. In the book, she didn't go into it. So you see how they like flip-flopped it in the book, she didn't go into it. She was just
she was pre-manifesting.
I feel like planned it in the show.
Right. I agree with Jess. Like, I wish she didn't have that pre-manifested, like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to hurt you. Like, I wish it just like came to her right then. Like, hey, let's just keep going. Like, then it would have been like a whole different conversation at this point. I agree with Jess on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he should, the communication on that was terrible. And I didn't like how afterwards he was like, I'm going to get back at you by not letting you finish, like on these stairs. Ooh. And that's going to be my, like,
payback.
I'm going to get back at you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe y'all should talk about it and like figure it out.
Right.
And I feel like in this one with Daphne, it was a lot more like she thought about it. She gave it thought. But I also feel like she really was more, I mean, she was really struggling in the show. I feel like she was more struggling than she was in the book, like with this whole fitting in as like the Duchess. And they show the kid running up to her in the village. And I feel like in the show, they really pushed more on how this was her role. This is what she should do. I think she even says that in the beginning to Eloise or something, like, this is my role. This is what I want to do. And, you know, this is it. This is all I know.
Yeah.
And I feel like the show just reinforced that. And so for Simon to kind of have not,
he took that choice away from her.
He took that choice away, but she also didn't realize that why she didn't have choice. Like,
but let's talk about how he lied to her.
Like, get in there.
What about
Simon did it wrong too?
He lied to her. He made her think that he was impotent, or that he like literally, and she felt bad for him. And he knew on that when they had that deal, and she made that decision. All right, I'm making the decision. I will never have children.
Right.
Just to have him in my life. I'm gonna sacrifice myself and what I want so that I can have the person that I love. So when you really think about the decision that she made, I don't know, for me, I always wanted to be a mother. To know that you're gonna make this commitment and give that up. And you saw her struggling with it when she saw the little girl that she picked up and she held. And then when she saw Simon interacting with her 2 youngest siblings. And it was just like this depression, this sadness, this grief. She was grieving what she thought she would never have. And then figure out that he lied to her when she realized the whole seed thing and what he was like. You know what? I can't hold it against her. I'm like, go. That's how I feel.
And I think like I feel bad for her too, because like with Violet having that chat before and like not preparing her for what it is. I felt so bad for her because she walked in there like clueless. And it's like
when she called her out in the garden.
Yeah.
And she was
my heart broke right there for her because she's just like, you could have prepared me better. You could have done better for me as a parent. And as a parent, you're learning, like me with my kids, I'm learning how to do this. Like this is like all new to me. So I like saw that and it was just like both sides of that situation is so freaking hard. Like I could just, I felt for both parties there.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he lied in for months, but I don't know. And then his whole thing was like, well, if you're pregnant, I'm just going to go live in the country. It's like, oh, okay. So then you're both now doomed to like live by yourselves. When in the show, I felt like they were more in love than I got from the book.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I felt they had more connection.
The building up was better.
Yes, I really was into that. And so when he's like, oh, I'll just go live in the country, I'm like, oh, so now you're both going to be miserable for like the rest of your lives? That's not the way to do this, And I feel like the show gave a lot more, what's the word? Like more angstiness to their thing when she's like rips off the necklace and he comes up and he's like, I'm here for you. And then when they're in like the rain in the final scene where, she's like, I love all these imperfections. Like, I feel like in the book, there was none, it wasn't really like that. Whereas like here, there was so much angst. And I mean, I love angst and I was there for it.
His like, I burn for you quote is from a different Julia Quinn book.
Really?
Like Heaven. The hero says, I burn for you to the heroine and Just Like Heaven. And I was like, they stole that from other books.
Oh, wow.
She probably okayed that. She probably was like, I'm going to okay this. Okay.
It was perfect.
Rain, so I'm glad they added it.
When she was in the rain and she was telling him like how much she loved him.
You guys, though,
beautiful
huge question. She broke off that necklace, set it on the thing, and ran away. Where the hell did that necklace go? How much money was that necklace? And that Prince was like, where the hell is that necklace? I want it back. And it's like, where'd the necklace go? Like, seriously.
Wasn't the Prince the one having sex with the dude in the brothel?
I don't
know.
think so.
That was Lord Weatherby or something.
Oh, it was
right. But here's the thing, though. I want that necklace to show up somewhere. Like Julie Quinn, if you're watching this, that necklace needs to show up somewhere.
Like, who has the necklace? The dressmaker. The dressmaker.
Oh, the most.
Okay. Who has the necklace is what's her name? That supposedly heard them. What's her name? The evil. Cressida. I guarantee you, Cressida is gonna show up into like a thing and have that necklace on. You wait.
So my friend who has never read Bridgerton, like my best friend in Florida, so she started watching it. So literally, like 20 minutes before we started this, she's like, "Where the f is that necklace?" Like the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm on episode 5, and where did that necklace go? And I'm like, this is a mystery.
It was literally the first thing I looked for. Like she dropped it, she left it, and I was just like, wait a minute. No one mentioned the $10,000 necklace she left.
I do feel bad for Daphne because I feel like the poor girl was just ignorant from start to finish. Like she just didn't know, you know, and everything poor thing. She's learning to do everything as she does it, because the mistake that she made with declaring all 3 pigs a winner, and essentially now these farmers weren't going to get their money.
I love that.
How come Simon didn't tell her? How come nobody told her how that was supposed to go?
Yeah, but
I don't think she ever
knew. Like, did she ever like kill a pig, or like I didn't see that.
There
part.
was another make it up for that after that, where there was like a baby pig on the table. But
that was for them. Like you didn't see how she like repaid the people. You know what I mean? To make her to make them love her. Like I was wondering what she was gonna do. Kill a cow? I don't know.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Because I feel like nobody is telling her anything, and she's having to learn everything all on her own. Her mom's not telling her nothing. Simon's not telling her nothing. You know, you would think that the maids of the house or somebody would tell her, hey, this is what you have to do. I mean,
no. And like when they didn't have internet back then, if no one told them, they didn't know. Like it's literally like you walked in there blind. So I did feel bad for her on that part.
I feel like, well, that's part of, I think everyone's chatting about this too, when Eloise is like, how does one come with child? It's like, it does. It shows these girls know nothing. I mean, here's Eloise and Penelope, who are like, I don't know, maybe they're 17, 18. They're supposed to be in the show, maybe 16.
Right.
Yeah.
With no idea as to like, and they're like, she eats cake. Oh my God, we have to talk about Marina.
Yes, we do.
Marina. Yes.
Girl.
That made me
fill up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right. It just like came into my head with the cake thing.
My girl, or my boy Philip. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, go ahead, guys. I'm just like,
I didn't know it was Marina. I was like, how did I not catch that was Marina? Like, I just read the book. Like, oh my God.
Well, I'm wondering, is she going to keep this baby and pass it off as Phillips? Is that what we're going with?
No, they're going to be the twins, right? They're going to be the twins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're twins.
And they're not going to be his kids, though. They're going to be his nephew.
Yes. I mean,
yes. And Marina is then going to go. Is she going to end up having her fate like she does in the book?
Wait a minute, though, because in the book he says that those are his children. So and then he marries what's her name, Eloise, and never tells her.
Wait, are they his kids in the book?
He never says that they're not. In the book, they're his kids. Like he says, like I
had to think about it. But even if they're not, like it's kind of like the same thing, just one flip of the storyline.
Yeah, but when I saw him at the end, I was like, oh, he's so cute. I was like, I could totally see him with Eloise. Like, he just looked so cute. And, okay, first of all, Marina, we need to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
How funny was it when the Featheringtons were like, she's probably from this farm. And then she walks in and she's all beautiful. And they're like, oh,
she's gorgeous.
Yeah. They're like, what are we going to do now?
My mistake.
They were hating.
You know what, though? Like some of Marina's actions, though, I was so bummed about. And then at the end, I just felt so bad for her. Yeah.
She had no choices. Like, that's the problem. I mean, you know,
at
that time period.
Getting married.
She was strong, though. I have to say, she was very strong. She stayed in that room, and when she decided to go after Colin, even though, like, Penn was telling her not to and trying to, like, you know, deviate her from her evil plot, she was still like, I have to do what I have to do, whether it hurts your feelings or not. I have to think about me and my child. Like, I'm sorry if I hurt you, but
what do we think about Penelope then?
Yeah, that was a little evil twist where she like ratted her out and like whistle down. That was a low blow.
I was kind of disappointed in Penelope for doing that because someone told me where it was. Couldn't she have just gone to Violet and say like, "Hey,
help me out here,
like save your son," and like Violet would have just put a stop to it.
Right.
I don't know if Violet would have though, because Violet was like, "Oh, yeah." I don't think Violet would have put a stop to it. I think he would have just done it, and
I couldn't see her letting Colin.
Violet definitely would have put a stop to it.
You think?
Yeah, she would not have let her son marry someone who's pregnant.
No, hell no. No. You didn't see how she was like giving Featherington the shade when Featherington.
Oh, she did. Yes, she did shade Featherington. Yeah,
she
totally did.
Girls, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was bummed because Penelope, like, she's one of my favorite characters. So for her to do that, but then you could tell how like sad she was because she walked to Eloise and she just broke down because she had to do that. She felt like in her mind. So they're like crying together. And I was just like, I don't know if it redeemed it enough, but I was just like, girl, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, I don't know.
She tried to tell Colin. She tried to give him the heads up and was like, she don't love you, boo-boo. She got a boyfriend somewhere else.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
She did try. Like, she tried. Then she tried to talk to what's her name? Marina. And she was like, no, I gotta do what I gotta do, whether I hurt your feelings or not. And you know what? Throughout all of that, she didn't tell anybody what was going on. She didn't blow up Marina's spot to Eloise. She didn't go to Colin and say she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, she, even though she did what she did through Whistledown, she still kept. I mean, no, she didn't keep it quiet.
Well, and then I felt like Colin was so sad. Like, Colin was just like,
did he love her?
I guess he felt like he did. And then he didn't even say to her, like, I would have married you anyway. I mean,
that was surprising.
Yeah. I was surprised by that. And I also was surprised how Daphne, like, kind of interjected herself into that situation and like she like apologized to Marina, you know, and then tried to set up the meeting between her and Colin. I was very surprised because I thought Daphne would have been more on the side of you know, we need to be proper and we need to distance ourselves instead of the way she was like, oh yes, the Featheringtons come to my ball at the end, you know, like she seemed...
I like that. Sorry.
Go ahead, sorry. No.
I interrupted you. I like how she was going with closure though. When they were getting them together, like she's like, I understand you need this closure. I think that's what you meant when them getting them together. Like, I understand you need this closure, so I'm doing this for you. And you could tell he didn't want to talk to her anyway, but he felt like he had to do it. I don't know. That was my perception of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I did like when Marina called out the modiste for not being really French. I thought that was funny. Like,
that was hilarious.
Like
when Daphne was like, look what a mess in a dress says.
Another woman.
Daphne was able to see through all the BS and understand that Marina was like trying to make a desperate choice. I thought that was cool. That was humbling. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, she was doing jacked up shit, and she's like, I recognize your need to do it.
Do you think that Marina was actually happy to know about George being dead? Like, she seemed relieved. She's like, he loved me, but then it's like, oh, like, he's really dead.
Yeah, he's still dead, and you still are pregnant. So you're still in the same situation, but now you're like really sad.
I think she was happy that she wasn't rejected.
Right. I think she was relieved.
Love her.
Yeah.
Because at the time she just felt like
that he, you know, wasn't writing her back and he was ignoring her.
When she found out that Featherington was forging those letters, like, I would have been.
Yeah, she was like,
wait, did she ever find out?
Penelope.
Yeah, Penelope.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that part, but I don't know. I was like, I didn't see her like connect of who forged the letters. I know that she knew that they were forged, but like, did she know who forged them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah, I think she did. Yeah, I thought she did.
But it didn't matter. She's like, well, he hasn't written anyway, so
right. So then, yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Like, all comes out. I think Tess had a question about what do we think about the dad being murdered?
Oh my god,
that was a twist.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked.
Some people think though that the two guys that killed him are from Sarah McLean's Bare Knuckle Bastard series.
Oh,
for real? Oh,
I don't know.
Gosh! Do you think that one of them was like not Kaz? I keep calling him Kaz because it's crows. Like, what's the guy?
He looks like Kaz.
Yeah.
Devil?
Yeah.
Devil.
People think it's
really?
Oh, maybe Sarah McLean will have a spin-off.
Maybe a crossover show?
Did any of them have a cane is my question.
We'll have to go back and freeze frame it and watch this and see. Like, did you have a cane? Did you have a scar? Was there a scar? You did? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Look.
It's got to be a cane and gloves. Did anybody have a cane and gloves?
Okay. I mean, I think we knew that something was going to happen with the dad. He was in the book. Right. And like the way he was like, I was reading his newspaper and it's like, why don't we just ship her back? And he's like, no. It's like, okay. Like something is amiss here. Yeah. Like, and then when he got rid of the Daisy guy, he was like, she will not marry him. And it was because she had no dowry. And it's like, okay, like you're just a jerk. You're just a jerk. And then, but I also was really pissed at Will for
throwing the match.
Yes, for doing that. Yes, for throwing the match. I was super pissed because
you know what's crazy? Is he got away with it too.
I think he did because then she was playing with the necklace. So, I mean, I would think she did.
Right. Like only the dad didn't get away with it, right?
Got away.
So I think only the dad. Like I think only the dad didn't get away with it because Will still seemed like he had the money. I mean, his wife was playing with the necklace and whatever. So,
but they took all their money too. Like I don't know how they got into their house and took all their money. Because when Lady Featherington goes into,
she was looking for it. Yeah, she was looking for it. That's right.
But I don't know who the Featherington heir is. Who's the heir in the book?
I don't know. I didn't understand that at the end. Does anyone else know like who that could possibly be? When she hands him like the piece of notebook, I was like, "Are you going to show me what it is?"
So my question is, did they take the deed to the house too?
They did.
They did, right? Because it was in the drawer, and the drawer was completely empty.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is it going to be someone we know from the books?
Who would it be?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Who's the next villain?
In Anthony's book, it was Anthony and Kate, but
I thought it wasn't Cressida, right? It's not Cressida. Someone's a villain.
No.
Maybe Araminta or whatever. Maybe like she's got a connection to
Araminta. Maybe
you guys. Anybody in the chat?
Dad? I don't know. And that's how they bring Sophie in.
Maybe. I do feel like they definitely wrapped it up in a way, like in the final episode where they're like, okay, yes, there's more. Where Anthony was like, and now I need to go find a wife. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And, there was something else. And I was like, oh, okay, well, they're definitely leaving this open. They're not going to just end it and leave us with nothing, right? Like, can we talk about the underground art parties that apparently Benedict goes to now?
You guys, that was wild. I was like,
art parties. Yes, let's talk about those art parties and something that we saw at those art parties. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the gay representation that they brought to Bridgerton. And I thought how awesome it was with Sir Granville when he had that conversation with, was it Benedict? Benedict, right? Mm-hmm. And he talked to him about being in a room with someone that you love and having to look around before you can like smile at them and not being able to be with them. And I just thought that was so sad, but also probably so realistic for people at that time period. Who they were. And I like the fact that they showed that he, his marriage was a rule. Yeah.
Right.
But the question that he asked Benedict,
or Benedict asked him, like, how do you do that?
No, when he asked Benedict, he was like, am I the only one like hiding something or something like that? Like, right.
I think Benedict and him were going to get together at that party.
That's what I thought.
I thought so too.
I'm okay if Julie Quinn is watching this. I'm okay with Benedict being gay. Like I'm 100% on board with that.
I'm all for it.
Right, I am too. So if Julie
Quinn can't get rid of Benedict's book, his is one of my favorites. No.
But you're on the
side a male that he.
But what was his love interest? Who was Benedict's girl?
Sophie, the servant.
But
okay. So instead of Sophie, we're gonna have a Steve.
No, we'll just have on the side.
Yeah, but it'll be a side piece.
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. I felt like the storyline, though. Sorry, Chris.
No, like what if he ends up having like a sham of a marriage too, because he ends up like building a relationship with this guy and he marries Sophie, but it's fake.
He's not going to want to be with Sophie anymore. He can't ruin Sophie's romance.
It's going to be
Okay,
great.
but here's the thing though. I truly believe how they did that, where it's like he married someone else to be with someone else. I feel like that happened back in the day. I feel like that was really realistic, where like the girl was super happy to marry him because they didn't know each other and she could kind of do her own thing. And then he could be with the one he really loved. I feel like that was really realistic to stuff that would happen back then. Like, to me, that was
so that's kind of like the book we just read, right?
Yeah,
because the man that she was supposed to marry, what's her name, Lucy, he was gay.
Yeah,
right.
So maybe he ends up having a relationship with Benedict.
They're bringing that character from. No, he'd be too young. That's like 8 years down the road.
Right. Do you guys know he ended up the artist, the one who was like conducting this party, who he was ending up being with? Like, who was the guy that they said that they were together?
Lord Weatherby, who was like then at that ball, like trying to hit on girls. And that's why I think Benedict was like, how do you do this arrangement? I was more like, Benedict, now you're going to go sleep with the two women? You're sleeping with the modiste and his wife. I was like, oh, way to go. Benedict he's stepping up his rake game.
He's wetting his dick, like Colin said. I thought that part was so funny when Eloise comes in and says, how babies are made? And they sit down and they're talking to her. She's eating chocolates. And she's like, you guys are not talking about anything inappropriate. And he's like, oh, no. He's like, come on. He said it to Benedict, let's go outside and wet our wigs or take it out or something like that. I just thought that was so funny. It was so funny.
Something about swords. Like there was a sword thing. And I was like, oh, okay.
Take our sticks out. Wasn't it take out our sticks? Take out our sticks. There you go.
Yes. I do wish that like in their little chats, their little like Benedict and Eloise, like on a
I love those.
Wing smoking a cigarette, he could have maybe given her a little information. Like, hey, this is how the babies are made. This is what we should be looking for.
In the family, they're raised by the same parents. It's super frustrating that the guys are out there being rakes and they know everything. And then the girls are like, oh, I have no idea. I was like, you live in the same house.
Right.
Yeah. How do you not know?
But I could see the brothers not being so forthcoming though.
But still, siblings are all up in each other's business. I mean, my little brother was all up in trying to read my diary in my room. You know, there's ways you can, or just ask them. Their family is so tight knit. I don't know why, they didn't
like
just.
How often Anthony's getting around, like wouldn't they have seen it at some point, like run into that happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because clearly the tree that they were up against did not have a lot of other trees around, so it's not like they were
right. That might be the dream tree. That might be that has a purpose just for that.
I really loved the Featherington. I loved their costumes, but I was very fascinated by the corsetry and how like Violet and Lady Featherington just had these very high and tight top hats. Like the amount of gravity that must have taken even Violet. I was like, oh, there was like one scene, I think, when she was with Daphne and like the breakfast group. And I was like, whoa, those kids, how are those staying up? And then I thought it was funny.
We need Violet to find a man. Like that would be great.
When I did like how they like showed her when she like rolled over and touched the pillow. And then, I thought that was sad. And then when she was drunk, I thought that was hilarious. That was so funny.
Like, and then I was hungover the next day.
Okay.
My mother get out of bed yet?
Will. You love Will.
Will. How hot was Will?
He's smoking.
He's okay. Good looking man.
He's smoking. Bottom line. I mean, I'd be on the side of his arena any day.
So the drama with him. Did you guys see how his wife all of a sudden had like a really shiny diamond necklace when they were like living in the ghetto? And then all of a sudden they're at this beautiful ball and she has like this huge diamond necklace.
See, I wonder if they're saving that for season 2 to where they're going to go after him.
Right, because how would they not know?
Will stole the money out of the Featheringtons' house.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be. It would be. Lord
The guy who
Featherington
did
probably
the
got
business
in
with
there and then killed him.
He did the business with the feathering dad. He knows, you know, but he knows where the other half of the money is. You don't think? I don't know. That sounds interesting.
No, I think that that's going to be a whole separate storyline, but I'm so happy they're introducing more characters and a Fight Club character, no less. Like anything with like a boxing ring or a Fight Club, sign me up. Like just put my name down there first. Like that's just hot.
The scene where like Simon was just rolling up his sleeves, getting all hot and bothered at the boxing match.
I think I messaged you guys. I messaged you and I was like, how high is he going to roll?
He was going like, he's got to show the guns off. I mean, that's what Daphne wanted to see. So,
oh my God, the spoon when he was.
I do not think that is sexy in any way. No.
He licked that spoon like a champ. Like I've never seen a guy lick a spoon.
There was nothing like even on the spoon though, too.
I
I think you got it.
Like, no joke. The spoon, like
that person with the yogurt cup that just keeps scraping the cup, that last little putting out.
No, that spoon was incredible. Like, no, check me out.
My God.
That spoon.
Like,
oh my God.
It was just funny watching her just like.
It was just funny. I didn't find it sexy in any way, but I thought it was funnier her like expression, and then the memes that have come up from it are just like.
That was before they had like the stare incident, right? Like that was before the.
Way before.
Way before.
Yeah.
Cynthia said the spoon made her skin get the feelings.
Yes.
That was
the spoon.
Hey, he licked that spoon like a champ.
oh, Pixie, the touch yourself scene.
Oh, yeah.
That was not in the book. And that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
That was great. I was like, go Daphne. Okay. She listened to him. And then she told him that she did it. So she had balls.
I don't know. I don't know if I was like,
Harry, you have some homework to do.
Girl, I don't know. I don't
know.
Like coming up to me and being like, you need to touch yourself. Like, I don't know. Like that to me is just like, it's a little up here.
They were in public though. Like people are around them. Like people are around them.
They were whispering. No,
they were not whispering. I heard them loud and clear in that show.
Because they had the mic on just for you, Jessica. But trust me, nobody was listening.
Only there's all these people here in public. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I love that scene. Like, it wasn't. I don't know. I was just kind of like, okay.
I liked it, and he was like, "Who are you thinking about when you were doing it?" And she was like,
yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
I did.
Look at Carrie's cheeks.
They're turning red because it's literally like, I don't know. I don't know about that scene. Like, I could get down with certain scenes, but that one to me was just like, I could take it or leave it. It wasn't my favorite. It was like, I like the spoon scene better. Let's just say that.
I thought it was hot
too. Especially being back in that time period, because, I mean, let's be honest. How are you going to be able to tell your man what you like and what you don't like?
How would you even know? She's a virgin.
Well,
like, how would she even know?
Figure it out.
Here's the question. Like, she's a virgin. How would she even know what to do down there?
Like, okay, but you know what good.
Let's be honest. Like, she's going to be like, oh, I'm an expert.
Daphne holding the flower before.
Come on. Like, all of a sudden, she's like, Master Pro.
Yes. I applauded their creativity. In like
perfect Carrie.
And like when they were on the ladder, I was like, "Ooh,
I think that was the first scene they ever filmed together of the show."
Oh, really?
Is what I read. I don't know if they said it in an interview or something, but one of their I think it was that one was the first scene they shot.
Well, thank God it wasn't the one on the stairs because that would have been.
I agree with Cynthia. They became rabbits. I was like, good God.
They were like outside with their
just was like hanging out right by them. Like, you don't care that all these people can hear you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine, like, or in the park, how many people were probably in the park with them and they're filming that scene and they're like butt naked, like doing that scene? That's crazy. Like, I don't know. You've got to have some guts to be an actor.
No, that was in somebody's backyard. That was like some rich person.
Oh, with the castle
I thought that was their backyard.
Or it could have been their backyard. Yeah, it was a backyard.
The castle was right there. There's no way that was a backyard. You looked up, there was a castle.
They did though say that they were all like the sex scenes were very choreographed. So like they knew step by step what they were supposed to do. And there was an intimacy coordinator. So
there was a what coordinator?
An intimacy. Coordinator, like to make sure they felt safe and knew what they were doing. And yeah.
Can I have that job? Can I do that job?
Like, hey Simon, how about we practice?
Just your ass is not bouncing enough. Do it again.
Oh my
gosh. Imagine on the resume, intimacy coordinator.
I don't know how one gets that job, but
you have to be a director for like porn or something. Like you have to have some kind of experience directing people's like
that's true
body, right?
Yeah.
And know how it looks with the different camera angles and stuff. I don't know. That's what I would think.
I agree with Christy because Christy just said that there was like they needed some slow and steamy. It was a lot of hammering. It was a lot of like pounding.
It was a lot of 2-minute action.
Yeah, and I feel like I wanted a little bit more of like a build up in there, and I feel like especially in the garden scene where he compromises her, he's very handsy.
We didn't see her boob. I thought we were
didn't.
Right? Was that the only one?
I know with how much we saw of her, I thought that should have happened.
Just
his hand was there. Like I just feel like there was a lot of hammering going on.
But they would feel like exposing and ruined. So
reminds me of the book that you were talking about last week. I think it was you, Alicia. 15 inches, or was it Natasha?
That was me.
Yeah, you missed our Wednesday chat. This was on our Wednesday chat.
I downloaded that.
I don't think he could have jackhammered with 15 inches. I mean, he has to be smaller than that. I mean, like,
good Lord.
No.
Oh gosh,
murder.
That's murder. Yes,
that's
I do.
Murder.
I do think we didn't see her tatas or her breasts, right? It was just those random people in the art thing. I do like how they made Benedict actually like draw. Like they showed that he had something, whereas I think in the book even I don't think they talked about him having like any kind of ambition or anything like that. And then here he actually had, a other thing going, like
we got Daphne's boobs after they were married. Don't act like I was Bianca. Bianca, you were looking for that boob scene too, because you wanted Anthony to walk in there and her be like, her boob out. I know I was. I was like waiting for it, and then it didn't happen. I was like, I felt cheated. I thought this was
but here's the thing, though.
Got X-rated again.
I don't understand how they showed her boobs after, but like they didn't show them in the garden. Like,
why
didn't they do that? Like that was like
too embarrassing to have your brother walk on like that. I know, but maybe they wanted to say
that was like the point of them like getting married. Like that would be like you need to get married instead of being like I feel like it was hearsay at that point. Like he saw them kissing and like you need to get married. Like
okay, so who liked Anthony? Because I still don't like Anthony.
I liked him at the end. I really liked him.
Okay. I liked him. I thought that I liked that he was such a rake.
What about him in the end that you started to like?
He just showed so much emotion afterwards when he's like finally realized he can't get what he wants, and now he's like, well, now I got to go do my duty. And
like when he was talking to Simon and Daphne.
More so like with the Sienna thing and how she was all like, it's done, and he's like devastated.
Okay,
right. I'm gonna find a wife, and I was like, oh, now he's not gonna want to love anybody, and I liked him, and he just got nicer. I think once he,
I like that scarred hero.
Yeah, I did. I loved the duel. I was trying to figure out if Anthony was going to actually shoot, right? Or because he was shaking. He was shaking, so he did shoot.
You guys, she didn't get shot. Why didn't she get shot?
Where did the bullet go?
Right.
It missed her.
I wanted her to get shot. Like, I love that scene in the book where no. I don't want her to get like shot, but like, I love that scene in the book where she did get shot and like, he like, can you hear me? Okay. And he like professed his love because she was like injured. Like, I liked that part in the scene, like in the book. And I feel like it missed that.
Anthony is a crap shot.
I think it was funny when Anthony and Benedict both run up and they're like, sister. It's such like a historical romance thing for people to call their sibling like sister. Whereas like, you know, Simon's like, Daphne, no. You know, it was, I liked Will in his like finery. I mean, him with his shirt off is hot, but like him in his like little finery and how they were racing through on the horses, I was like, ooh, I like this. I liked the duel scene. I did wonder if she hadn't, you know, I mean, obviously she did show up, but if she hadn't, would Anthony really have shot him?
No, I think they were going to go wide. Right?
Well, why was his pistol pointed in the air? Was he just not going to?
I think he was not going to. Like, I think he was just going to take it as like, this is it. This is my end. I am done.
He accepted his fate.
It was really sad when Anthony was talking to Benedict and he's like, this is going to happen. I'm either going to die or I'm going to have to leave the country. Yeah. Like, either way, I'm doing this and ruining my life. And I was like, you're so stupid. Why would you ruin your life just because some guy was caught with your sister? Like, figure out a different solution.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I agree on that one. I wasn't into how he was just so firm on that. And then, I don't know. But I mean, I liked Anthony. I did. And then when we saw him, like, he was all cuddly with Sienna and he picked her up and they slammed the door. I was like, yes, finally. Thank you. I did like the amount of sex that the show brought as opposed to the books. I feel like the books are they're not as steamy, whereas here we had a lot of sex. What does anyone else in the chat want to talk about? I mean, I feel like everyone had opinions and was very chitty chatty when we've kind of dominated this conversation. Is there something anyone else wants to talk about? Anything?
Let's let the people talk and we'll see what they want to chat. We do have an announcement. I'm waiting to make the announcement. So while we
Bianca said the announcement now.
Okay. You want the announcement to come with a bang, and we're waiting for the bang. And as soon as it gets here, you're gonna see the
Okay. Both Tiffany and Tess want to know what we think about the Lady Danbury reveal. Or Lady D or Lady W? Lady W. Sorry, whistle down. I was annoyed because I kind of wanted it to continue on a little bit. I get, the books are out there. People who I'm so happy that people are picking up the books. Like, I'm so happy that people are picking up the books, that they are reading it, and that we are, getting this other opportunity to talk about this. So they could find out who Lady Whistledown was if they just read to book 4. But I liked the Julie Andrews voicing. I liked it. I mean, I liked in the next book, in 2 and 3, I really liked not knowing who it was as those stories progressed. So I don't know. It was not my favorite. It was not my favorite ending. I didn't love it.
I was really surprised when they revealed it at the end. I was not expecting that at all.
And it does ruin Penelope's book.
Yeah.
Right. Because that was the whole point of her book.
People haven't read it yet.
Right. And I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. With Penelope, like, I feel like with her book, because they waited 4 books to get you there, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to, like, reveal her in season 2 or season 3 and not wait till season 4? Because then what would happen on season 4? Oh, and also, here's another thing, guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
Well, I was just going to say, I think they're going to combine the plots of at least Penelope and Colin's book with someone else's, because it's already developing so much that I don't know if they'll necessarily have a season to themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's be realistic. Let's pretend they have a season 2, which we all know they will, because we're going to be super positive. That it's not coming out till 2022. Like literally with COVID and everything got pushed back. So it's not even coming out this year. It's coming out it's coming out in 2 years. So now we have 2 years to stew about this unless they push production. And I'm like, please push production like faster.
Yeah.
But didn't California shut everything back down?
I think they can't. I forget what it is. It's either March or July that they can't start filming. I don't know why those 2 dates are.
That's
something about one of those.
Yeah.
So if they film in March and July, is it really out of the question to be ready by December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot that goes into producing. I mean, a lot that goes
Their
into producing.
but also filming the ball scenes. They said would take days to film one ball scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you gotta think about the costumes alone. Like
Daphne
love
had
it.
94
the costumes, getting the fabrics, all those fabrics. The fabrics are good. Did you see the I think it was blue, the dress that Violet had I think it was the last scene. It was like a split dress with like these beautiful floral, like oriental print. Like I was just looking at the fabric that they used was beautiful. The colors, the shades, gorgeous.
I loved it. Loved all the costumes except for Eloise's stockings. That bothered me because her one stocking kept falling down.
I did not like that.
The bangs.
I did not like her.
Eloise.
Oh,
I hate the bangs.
They were not straight, and then she wore this high collared, this poofy, gauzy thing, and I was like, "What is that?"
She's not out in society yet.
Yeah. It's just funny that it's like she wears this high neck thing, and then all of a sudden it's like there's Daphne with like basically almost her nipples showing, in some of these dresses. It's like once you hit a certain age and you're out in society, we can show all the skin, but until then, you wear this like weird sack thing.
What was with the headband though? What was with Eloise's headband? The 2-strap headband. I didn't like that.
So, but would you just see when they had like her coming out and they finally put her like bangs like to the side and framed her face? She looked a lot prettier than with the freaking.
I think it's maybe to like she's younger and then it shows like she's matured and now ready to mingle.
But she looks so much better. But then they gave her bangs again towards the end. She had the bangs again. I'm like, get rid of the fucking bangs.
Because she's not interested in finding a husband. She wants to do her own thing.
She wants to work. She wants to be a detective.
Did you guys see Eloise dressed up? And she's just like, I don't want to be dressed up right now. And I'm like, I don't want to. That was so me. Like, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable in this dress right now. I don't want to be here. Like, I was just like, I related to her on a whole new level. Like, because dresses and me never got along.
I did love
Sarah's like a super fan.
Sarah, you're just gonna have complaints. If it is related to Bridgerton, Sarah's just like die hard. It's gorgeous. It's 10 out of 10. Beautiful. It doesn't matter what it is. She loves it. So
yeah, I did like Tess. I think Tess just said I really did like Eloise and the Queen. How the Queen was like, we're gonna
work
together. Be my
together.
Detective, and figure that out. And then how she did send the Bow Street Runners, and then they figured out where Lady Whistledown / Penelope and Eloise saved her. But do you think Penelope knows it was Eloise who saved her?
I would think so.
I mean,
what's crazy is they didn't tag Eloise as Lady Whistledown.
No, I think she played I'm looking around for it.
Right.
Like I think
Going off of what's on the screen though, someone pointed out Benedict had bees on his collar.
Did he?
What?
Really?
Yeah.
There were bees all throughout the show.
Bees.
I didn't realize that. I didn't see
Benedict though. Shouldn't it be Anthony? Because Anthony's the one that's so
yeah. Huh.
Yeah, bees were all over the show.
I didn't see he had it like on him.
It was like embroidered on his collars.
Yeah. Oh, his name begins with a B, so maybe.
But I know people are annoyed, just like Jessen is, that it was Benedict, because Benedict isn't like that affected by the death.
No.
And
someone had bee jewelry. Who had bee jewelry?
And there were bees like around too, which I liked. I felt like it was like the dad looking over.
You have a beautiful bee fabric. I saw you post.
I do. Coming to the shop.
I love fabric. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's so pretty." That's
I really like that fabric.
Yeah, really nice. Go over to Jess's channel. She has a link, or I'll put it down below too, to her Etsy.
My Etsy.
Where she has like a Bridgerton themed.
I have my beautiful book back here, but I don't think you can see it.
And masks. So yeah, very cool.
Here. I don't care about that.
Has all this stuff. Oh, Sarah, of course you are, because Sarah's probably watched this like 27 times.
Yeah, Sarah, how many times did you watch it?
I mean, like she's probably watched it a million times. Did anyone stay up like all night besides Tony and Wendy and like watch it? Because I'm sure Tony and Wendy like started it when it came out and never came.
They probably took off of work.
Yeah, I finished it around like 9 or 9:30 that night. I started it at like 12 or 12:30, and I finished it that night. So,
I mean,
I took 3 days. So,
I took more than that. I just finished it like before this chat. I was like, I was working on it.
Oh, Sarah said 4 or 5 times now.
Oh, geez.
Oh, only 5 times?
My gosh.
Have you learned? Here's the question. Have you learned anything?
God, Sarah, really? She's trying to memorize it word for word.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay. Have you learned anything new watching it a second time?
They probably
that would be a good one.
Probably the bees.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
Woke up at 3 a.m. on Christmas to watch it.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
yeah, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
That's dedication right there.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, so everyone wants your bee book sleeves, Jess.
8 p.m. tomorrow, EST.
They're going up live tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yep. Every Sunday, 8 p.m.
Oh.
Are you still doing them every week, or are they every other week right now?
Every other week for the book sleeves, yeah.
All right, let's do a giveaway. We have the other Miss Bridgerton.
I thought we gave that away.
Did we?
Yeah.
Simone.
Gave that one in May. What's left? Miriam Marquis.
Show the back.
Show us the back. Show us the back.
Ooh, gorgeous.
And it's signed. And this one says, "Hope you enjoy, Julia." Can you see it? Okay. So, who has not won anything? Someone who has not won something, write in the comment box in the chat, write B.
Or
U.S. only, because
yes, U.S. only.
International is very expensive. We're sorry. We're very sorry.
Just so that we can get someone that hasn't won something.
I know. I feel bad. Oh.
So, guys, the surprise is coming. There was a little miscommunication with a time. We'll start with this. So, Natasha, Alicia, Carrie, and myself started a book club, and it's called the Romance Book Squad. And this whole thing like kicked it off. We've become, very good friends, and we are, excited with everything, how it's been going. So we decided to move forward.
And we're not kicking Jess out. Just want everybody to know. She's got tons of stuff on her plate. Girlfriend is busy.
I'll be popping in. Yeah.
She's going to be popping in.
Yes.
Yeah. She's going to be popping in like every month or so. Right, Jess? Like every month?
I'm hoping once a month I'll join in. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because we're doing weekly.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't know. Should I wait till this? I think we should wait a little while longer.
Well, here's the question. Jess, can you hang out for a little bit, or do you have to rush off?
Sure. I've stayed up until 12:30 in the morning the past 2 nights.
Okay.
It was on yesterday. And
there's like a time difference issue. So if we can get to like 10:30, then bam, it's going to be bomb. All right?
Okay. I mean, I don't even know what's happening. Chris is the only one that knows what this is.
Yeah, I don't even know what's happening either. So if you guys want to hang out and talk like that.
I want to spit it out. Chris, I swear, Tori, you gonna beat me up, Tori?
She's gonna beat me up because I can't read that part of Blood and Ashes. I'm dying in that book.
I know. It's gonna be worth it, guys. Trust me when I tell you, it's gonna be.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I'm reading.
Oh yeah, pick a winner. Yeah. Chris, you didn't pick
a winner. Oh, sorry, we didn't pick a winner.
Did anybody say B?
I didn't see ladies get sidetracked.
Did anybody? Okay, one person said B. All right, Courtney, I just see you. So, Courtney, you're getting the book.
Yay, Courtney.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few others. Courtney's getting the book. We saw Courtney first, so Courtney's getting it.
So, do we have any other stuff left?
Yeah, we have some.
Oh, book sleeve.
Sign.
So just put down there if you guys want a book sleeve.
Yeah.
You didn't win.
Yeah.
One already.
And you guys, it will be definitely worth the wait, I'm assuming, because I don't know what it is. But
you know?
No, I don't know, but I'm just like, I know you. So
she knows I wouldn't say that. Well, I hope you know that I wouldn't say this if it was like a womp womp author. This author's, it's an author. I just.
Oh my gosh.
That was not me.
Oh my gosh.
That wasn't you this time. Okay, so we have someone really popular that's gonna be coming on shortly.
Popping on the show on your right now, like on your live.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta get them all ready now.
I don't make small promises. When I tell you it's gonna be great, it's gonna be like people are like, "What shit? Yeah, shit, Harriet, shit. It's about to be some shit."
No way, I knew it. Wait.
I'm just not gonna say who it is. I won't say who it is.
If it's not who we all think it is, we're gonna be really.
It's an author. I'm not saying it's related to what we're doing now, but it's a big author. And it has to do with the books that we're going to be reading next.
I don't know what you're reading next.
I know.
What are you reading?
You're going to be excited about it. Trust me. You guys have to put a little bit of trust in Chris. Just a little bit of trust.
Okay, well, Jess, since we're on here and we have time to kill, Jess, I read in a day. What is Night Song?
Oh, I haven't read that yet. Did you like it? That's my book.
God.
January. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, in a day. I mean,
good.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like at first I was a little bit bored. But then I was like,
yeah, it's her first book.
That was her first one.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. I want to read every. I mean, I bought a lot of. It came as a lot from eBay, Beverly Jenkins books. So of course I had to buy like all of them. But I now just want to binge like all her books. She's just the way that she writes.
Indigo, I finished last week, and that one's really good.
Okay, was that your first time reading it though?
Huh?
No, Jess, was that your first time reading it?
Indigo? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And I heard that was like her best book.
Yeah.
I
read the Destiny series. I read her Old West series. I read a lot else, but yeah. I was like putting Indigo off because I knew it was her best. Is that the paperback? Oh my gosh. I have it in hardback, but I don't have the paperback yet.
Yeah.
So did you get that in like an eBay lot, Natasha?
I did. So I've got a couple of her older ones.
How much people are getting into historical romance now because there's so much competition on eBay now, and I'm like, you all need to go back away.
Girl, as soon as you put it on your channel, people were like, "Bam!" Like you had like the gold mine, and it's just like. Whoosh. But
it's getting so hard to find the books, though.
Sarah, when did you find that? Oh my God, $5?
Wow.
That book goes for like, I think they posted 2 editions and they were like $140 on eBay.
Yeah. Oh, even Thrift Books has it listed, I think, for $130 or something like that.
I got my hardback for like $6 on Amazon though. So you just have to watch.
Wow.
And now And now with some of the books being discontinued, like they're going to go, I mean, I guarantee you the Julie Quinn series is going to go for a lot too if people can't buy them right now.
All of these with the
Step back.
Yeah. Avon said they were printing more. Did y'all see that? Was that tweet or was tweet or Instagram?
Yeah, but what does that mean? Do you get the step back? Do you get other things features that you want? Like when they print more, what does that mean? Or is it going to be the new
printing that has a step back?
Right. Rest in peace, Wallace.
I went to Half Price Book today and got 11 more historicals. So,
oh my god, I saw you got a little.
I'm totally loving everybody's book hauls. I told myself I was going to calm down with buying of books, but here I am watching everybody's book hauls on YouTube.
So
making a list.
It's a
cycle.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can't find them anywhere, and they're not on like Kindle or Audible. You like the only way sometimes you have to find the books to read them.
Yeah,
that's true. Like the ones,
right? So I mean that makes it kind of tough for your
Patricia. This is a step back. This picture.
Oh, that's nice.
Some people don't know, which is great.
Well, yeah, eBay sellers don't, because I'll say like, is this the edition? Like, because Elizabeth Hoyt, her books, you can't see if it has a step back or not, and it like you have to open it to see. And they're like, "What's a step back?" I was like, "The picture in the back. Your book, right?"
So what's the thing about consumerism? Like I've seen that. Like, give us the info, Jess, because I've seen some issues relating to like the book hauls and consumerism. Like, what is your take on that whole thing?
I just buy books because they make me happy. Some people think there's like pressure to buy books, or like you have to have a big book collection to be on BookTube or Instagram. But I buy them because I like them.
Like these are
totally not true, because I really appreciate those channels that have like mainly ebook hauls. Like when Brie does ebook haul, when Avery does her ebook hauls, I totally appreciate those. So I don't
buy my books full price. Like, I'm buying from eBay. I'm buying from Half Price Books. I'm not spending, because there's people are spending like what $18 in every new hardback young adult release, and they're getting like 10 a month, and it's just like
I can't. There's no way.
See, and I do a lot of Audible, and if I really love a book, then I'll go buy the hardcover, or not the hardcover, or like a copy of it. Like I still need to put in an order with MZ. I'm not kidding, Justin. I don't own a physical copy of her books, but I own every audio book of hers. But I don't own a physical copy, which I need.
I mean, I look at it like this. It's your money. As long as you're not sacrificing feeding your children or paying your bills, spend your money on what the heck you want to spend it on. 2020, we went through so much shit with COVID and everything in the world. If books bring you peace and joy, buy the book.
Yes.
I mean, plain and simple.
If you're getting that $600 check, that's $600 worth of books that you could be getting.
Stimulate the economy.
Okay.
And people have things they buy, like what Justin said. Some people buy shoes. Some people have
some people go get their nails done. I do
buy shirts that have
$35 plus the $5 tip, because you got to think about at least a $5 tip. It's $40. Yep. You buy yourself some books.
And like I don't drink, and I know people who go out drinking on the weekends and drop like $50 on a Friday night. I'm like, okay, well, that's like 20 historical romances right there. So
I used to be a purse snob. I would go to Dooney and Burke, and it would be nothing for me to drop money. Now, granted, I would go to the outlet, but still, I'd come out with like 4 or 5. So it was nothing, you know.
So, how often, Jess, do you go to Half Price Books? Though I'm just curious because I see
weekend. She goes every weekend. She does every weekend.
I don't even do.
She doesn't just go to one. She goes to all 4. I'm so jealous.
I don't have a Half Price Books next to me. Like we only have used bookstores. Like me and Lacey, we're neighbors, and I don't have Half Price Books next to us.
Well, don't you have that one bookstore though that has a lot of used books?
We have Book Off.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's so it's a used bookstore. So they go and they
Okay.
buy your books, and then we go in and it's
Like,
great
like
because
half price. Okay.
right. So I found some brand new like Sarah J. Maas's hardback for like $5, and her books are like 18, $19. So like, and then historicals are like $2 or $1, you know. So that's where I live, but they're all used. But I thought, isn't half price books not used books though?
All of them are used except where they have like a small section of like the bestsellers that they'll get that are only 20% off.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Historical romances, that's why I go there to look for like old school historicals, or sometimes people sell back their books that are like 2 months old. And I was like, okay. So I get it for $4 and they spent $8 on it. So
Right.
Yeah, every time I see your book calls, they look brand spanking new. So that's why I got confused. I'm like, she goes to a brand new bookstore and gets all these half off. I'm like, oh my gosh, they look brand
Let me
new.
ask you guys, what are some of like the top historical romance books that you've read in 2020? Give me some examples.
The Madness of Lord Ian.
Okay. I know that's your number one. Okay. Natasha?
I was gonna say I just watched Jess's video on this earlier today.
Probably the two Beverly Jenkins that I read.
What was the other one?
Captured.
Oh, I didn't like that one.
I liked it. To me, it was a happy pirate story that I really liked.
God, anything by Kerrigan Byrne, like anything that girl writes.
Speaking of Kerrigan Byrne, so I announced my historical romance readathon. I'm going to be doing an Instagram live with Kerrigan Byrne during that week, so I'm super excited.
Awesome. I just read my first Kerrigan Byrne. I think it was a little Christmas novella.
Oh, the one with the ghost?
Yes. I just read that in December. It was really, really good. I liked it a lot.
The highwayman sitting right behind you.
Yeah. I have it.
So good.
What did I read? Historical romance. Oh, I read one that I did not like very much. That was a Jess pick. So I felt like, I think it was because it was so hyped because everyone else really liked it so much that I felt that it wasn't. Yeah, it was like the Colin and the Penelope. It was so hyped. This Earl of Mine, I didn't love it as much as I thought I would.
Kate Bacon?
Kate Bacon?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I thought it was. I did not love it, but I think it's because I thought you guys talked so much about it. I thought it was going to be like this amazing,
flaming awesome.
Good.
So good.
I wanted them to get it on right at the beginning, like in the prison, down and dirty.
Girl, you were like that with every book. Like,
yes, that is true. That is true.
No, that book, I loved 1 and 2 of that, and then the third one was good, but not as good as 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
The one that just came out?
I liked it. It was really good. I think I rated it like a 4.3.
All right.
But
all right. The surprise is here. So, you ready?
Ready?
Are you guys ready? Ready! It's Kerrigan Byrne! Hey,
I literally just got out of the tub, so I'm all like rosy cheeked and
so happy to have you. Thank you for coming on.
look at all of those
excited.
beautiful bookshelves.
We are so excited, and our first romance book squad series is
Victorian Rebel.
We're so excited. Thank you so much for everything.
So they had no idea that you were coming on, and people were just like, Jess announced something that she's doing with you in the future, and everybody just started saying, Kerrigan Byrne is awesome. Kerrigan Byrne this, and I'm like, oh my God, they have no idea. Wait till she comes on, they're gonna freak. So everyone, they're so excited.
I'm just gonna say right
so
now,
excited.
like all of your books, I rated out of 5-star. I don't think I've rated you lower than a 5-star. I'm not even playing. Like you are so good.
So The Highwayman was my first book into historical romance, and everyone knows that I love dark romance, and I didn't know how dark it was, and it just like sucked me in. So when we were talking, we were like, we have to do something after Julia because we've just gotten so much hype and we've gotten so many followers, especially like in the Discord, and it's gotten so much attention. You know, I'm like, we have to go big. So it's go big or go home. So I thought of you. And when you said yes, I knew it was going to just be like amazing. And I'm like, trust me, it's going to be amazing. You guys are going to like flip your shit. And then here you are. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You
so we
guys
start
are all beautiful. You all have like your makeup on. I was like, oh. Oh. So I
You
thought
still
this
look
was
beautiful.
I thought I had another half an hour. Sorry about
I know. I was with the calculations of the time. I told her, I was like,
That's
I'm
my
sorry,
bad.
can you guys just hang out a little longer? I'm sure she's
Sweet.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much. I love you guys.
yeah.
You're all good.
We're happy to
We
have
are
you.
so excited to read your books. I just read my first Kerrigan Byrne book. I just read your Christmas novella. Absolutely fell in love with your writing, and I'm so looking forward to this series. Of course, I had to go out and get all the books and stuff.
Well, thank you.
I'm really excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Amazon,
wanna
you have to like load up on your books because this is like just blows up. We do have about 300 people in the Discord, and Jess has like 35,000 followers. So we're pretty sure this is going to be like.
Which apparently we're going to be talking to Jess pretty soon here.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I want to say that I want to be a red rogue. Like, how do I get to be a red rogue? Because
that'd be amazing. You have to have red hair.
I would dye my hair. I really would. If I could be friends with them, and like, I love them. I just do. I really, really do. Oh, look, see, Lisa just put the Highwayman on the hold at her library. Someone else just asked. I know that it has been all over the romance world. Have you watched Bridgerton?
I did. I binge watched it in one day. So
what did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was great. I am really excited. I mean, I know there's some, controversy or whatever, but like I'm really excited that like historical romance is out there front and center, and it's not masquerading as upmarket fiction or anything. Like it's one of the books that has the bodice ripper cover. It's shelved in romance, and it was number one for a good while, and people are raving about it. So I'm just really, I feel like that's a win, and that's really important. So I love the casting generally, and I love what it's doing out there. So I super enjoyed it. I really feel like I shouldn't say this in public, but like I didn't read the books. So
That's okay. That's okay.
So, like, we all just read them.
Yeah, we just read them right now. So it's
okay. There's a lot of changes from the book to the screen. They've changed a lot, and I think they did it justice in modernizing it with people of color and with bringing in like the whole gay aspect to the screen and giving that inclusivity. So the books were great, but I think the show has modernized it and gave it like a nice touch.
I'm agreeing with Christy though. So your series is next, right? On the big screen for Netflix?
Oh my gosh.
I
would literally die a happy.
Me too. Like, we would together over here.
Because everything I consume a lot of TV. Like I love media, I love pop culture, like I love all of that. So when I write, I see everything as a show, as it's very cinematic in my head. And so, I mean, I even have like opening, so dumb, but I have like opening scene, like the intro music for like, okay, well, if this book was a movie, like here's what the intro music would be. And I have casts, like I cast them all on Pinterest and stuff like that, because they are to me very visible. They're very visual. So like, if that ever happened, I don't know. I'd probably just die. I'd probably just fall over dead.
The way you explain it, it's like an art form. You know,
you would pick the heroes and heroines, so you would know who all the
what they look
characters
like.
were. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You would have definite feelings. You'd be like,
Yeah,
so
oh, yeah.
this person, and then
It would be difficult too because most of them are like A-list act, you know. So I don't know.
So
Yeah.
do you have someone in mind for your series? Like, is that something you thought about?
Oh, yeah. Like if you go to Pinterest and find Kerrigan Byrne, you'll see all of my books.
Oh,
All of them
I'm
are
there.
cast. Yeah,
You've just gained, you know,
Your
200
Pinterest is
followers.
gonna blow up.
And I
have no
don't spend
idea.
a ton of time over there these days, but I just do it because I already know what they look like, and I have to stare at them sometimes when I'm thinking of, you know, how I'm going to describe people or how they move. Like sometimes it's just a person, not even necessarily how they look, but how they move or make you feel, like, or how arrogant they are, or whatever, you know, whatever it is, just kind of how they speak. That kind of thing means a lot. I
Right.
think. So,
So who was your inspiration to start writing these historical romances? Like what got you into historical romance?
I've always loved history, always. And I first started writing paranormals like Berserkers, and Karen Marie Moning was really big for me. I read a ton of her. And I'm not great at time travel, so none of that really appealed to me. But the first book I wrote was like a gladiators book. And that's the book that I got my agent with, but she's like, I can't sell this one because like New York's not going to buy a book about gladiators. But if you write about something in the Regency or Victorian era, that's the one that's going to get you. So I just like binge read Lisa Kleypas and like a couple of other, and I just was like, okay, this I love. So
Christy has a question.
Oh, is getting an 8th book? Maybe. I keep meaning to write them, and it's one of those things where it's like I can't afford to write them. So, like, I really set up. I really thought there were going to be 3 more books in the Victorian Rebel series through St. Martin's Press. So I set up to write Morley's book, Callum's book, and Sebastian's book. And I was definitely going to do that. And then they said, the series might be getting a little long in the tooth. Let's go a different direction. And I was really bummed about that because I wanted to, you know, I set it up in the, you know, so yes, definitely going to do it. Just, I can't
say when.
I can't exactly say when, but I want to say within the next couple of years. I have the covers and everything.
Really?
Hey!
Yeah.
Well,
we love your covers. Your covers are like the vibrant. Yeah, I love them. The vibrant colors, gorgeous.
Good,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love John Paul.
In your covers, because we saw like a lot of like other stuff going around. So do you no?
I sometimes get to say, oh, I don't love that, but I was kind of bummed because All Scott and Bothered, I really wanted the heroine on the front to be larger. Yeah, you know, I wanted her to be, and when she wasn't, I did kind of say, I mean, they did it for Sarah McLean, kind of. She was at least curvier, you know. So I thought, I asked them about it, and they're like, no, probably not. We're just gonna go with this because they say, you know, it's not really what's on the cover. Doesn't really have to match what's inside, but I'm like, I think so. I think it does.
Right.
Readers, I agree. If you need us to help back you up on that, right? Even in some of Julia's books, like when they would mention one of the characters, and then you look at the cover and you're like, "There's no way."
Penelope's book,
Penelope's book, right? Penelope's supposed to be, you know, plus size and. In the front cover, do you have it? Does either one of you guys have it there so you can show like she's like skinny and not what you imagined at all? And then when you see the show, she's redhead, and the book just takes like a blonde. I don't know. It's just
I thought the Victorian Rebels cover were just gorgeous. I mean, John Paul covers are the epitome of what most historical romance authors want to have. But I did ask them initially when I saw it, I was like, that's so bright and brilliant and beautiful. But like, this is a dark series. This is a darker book. And I saw kind of the first two covers at the same time. And I was like, do we want to do like gold and lavender? I mean, maybe we could do something, dark and sexier. And they're like, no. So right, totally. Yeah. I was like, I really want like a Victorian feel to it, maybe like Sherry Thomas or something. But you just
Kerrigan, what about like a horror, like a scary put like a dark scary twist on one of the books?
I wouldn't hate that.
No,
I wouldn't hate that at all. Yeah. I write I just started a mystery series called The Business of Blood that is like a Jack the Ripper
series cool.
About so that's a little bit of my horror.
She has right definite
there. Oh yeah, that's there it is. So it also has a different cover. But
yeah, I know. This was the original. Yeah.
That's awesome. I loved that cover. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I do get to kind of play with that a little bit.
That's awesome.
More
so cool.
Horror / sexy / murder.
So since we're speaking of
go ahead. I was going to ask if you would publish your Gladiator one, because that'd be something.
Yes, I do want to do that. Yes,
that would be cool.
I think I'm going to have to change a few things because I wrote it like 10 years ago. So, I will. I think it would need a few rewrites, maybe.
But it's like there's big demand for gladiators now. I think who was it that had a gladiator series now that I like? That it kind of got kind of big for the YA genre.
Ooh,
yeah, the Valiant.
The Valiant. There we go. Yeah. Well, I'll buy anything he writes, honestly.
Yes. I think I absolutely, that's absolutely in my spank bank.
Hey,
Natasha, you want to say something?
I just wanted to ask a question. We were talking about covers, and in the Victorian Rebels series, the 7th book, didn't that have a cover and a title change?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 2 different books? It's the same book, right?
Yeah, it's the same book.
Nice.
But I decided instead to focus a little bit more on the heroine's family rather than Morley.
Okay.
And because I realized this isn't going in a Victorian Rebels direction, and this woman's sister, sort of were stealing the show, and so I thought, you know what, I think, and I have a different publisher for those too, so they were kind of like, if you spin up, they're a little bit shorter, they're a little bit sexier, why don't we make this the beginning of the Good Girls instead of a button to the Victorian Rebels, because I do want to keep writing in that world.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, let's do that. I think, why not? And the cover that I picked for that, which I was in love with, kept getting turned down for Amazon ads because you could see her back. They said it was too sexy.
There's so many other covers that they just put up there like no problem.
I know. Don't get me started. I was so frustrated because they're like, it's just too sexy, and I'm like, you don't even see, like, there's no, like, I don't, like, I look at other stuff and I'm like, there is tasteful side boob, and I don't even have tasteful side boob. So I don't know.
Well, I fell in love with the original cover, and I've been on the hunt for it ever since, and I can't find it. I mean, they're both beautiful, but there's something caught my eye about the first one. So
the guy in it is just like, I love his face. I want to use that cover again, and like, maybe if I put some time between it, I can use it for something else, because I capital L love that. So
yeah.
I just found it on eBay, so it's coming to me.
Yay. I know. We're hunting them down.
Yes.
Yeah, if you ever feel like putting a short-haired brunette heroine in there, I'd be totally down with that. Just saying.
I'm actually shopping around like a contemporary right now that's does have a kind of bob-headed brunette.
Short hair, kind of spunky.
Yeah, she owns a bookstore. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Love it. Oh my gosh, I'm totally fangirling right now.
I know, it's crazy, right? You guys come out of left field.
Right. Like,
you didn't have questions for Karen.
We were coming on, so we're literally like blindsided right now. We're like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I loved this series was amazing. Where did you get your inspiration for this one?
I wanted to write something that was about sort of like those fierce female friendships that like you would actually hide the body for kind of people. You know, I have a couple of people like that in my life. And
right.
I've always just thought, I mean, love is super great and everything. And I have like the best husband ever, but also my life wouldn't be complete without some of the women that I really rely on, you know? And so that's something I wanted to write about. And then I wanted to kind of like do something sort of feministy, I guess, and relevant and like tackle a couple of issues. And I didn't get to do everything I wanted because I got pulled back a little bit. But I overall was like really happy with, you know, I wanted some just like kick-ass women who went to school and who would have had great lives even if they didn't fall in love. But they happen to. So woohoo. Like,
you wrote it so beautifully.
Asked what your writing process is.
I kind of just keep banker's hour. I'm a pretty boring person, so like I still feel like I need to smooth out my process because it could be chaotic, not chaotic, but like I like wake up in the morning and get coffee and then just like hit the computer and try to hit my word count. And I try to do, you know, Monday through Friday, 8-ish to 5-ish. And that's it. Like I don't have like, I don't outline. I don't like, I make things up on the fly. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what's their names. And I have like these running lists in my phone of like, I like these character names or I like this scene, or like sometimes I think of something in the bathroom or like in the shower and then just like put it in my phone. And I don't have, nothing's organized. I don't have like, I don't have any like character sheets. So I feel kind of bad because sometimes people ask me to be on panels or like kind of like talk about a process or like how a book comes together. And apparently there's supposed to be acts and stuff. Like the first act is
most geniuses aren't like structured though. Most geniuses are like, you know, kind of
I mean, I'll go and like
people like artists even, they just like go with the flow and you go into that category. You're like an artist.
But when it's not flowing, I mean it can get pretty painful. And then I feel like I wrote the same guy over again, or the same sentence, or use the same word. Like I wish sometimes that I was a little bit more put together because I see how other people do things and I'm like, that seems like it's less pain for you. Like not that it's really that painful, but I think I just I waste a lot of time kind of doing research on the fly or trying to figure out something like, is this gonna work, you know, or talking through things or finding a huge plot hole when I'm almost finished with the book. Like that never would have happened, and now I have to go change this whole situation because I should have thought of that first. And now, you know, like, so I do a lot of that, which is probably not super great, and I probably could do it better, but that's a terrible answer to your question.
No,
I love it. It just makes you seem like more like, you know.
And I have to be alone too because I do a lot of the dialogue out loud and in terrible accents. So sometimes like my husband's working from home now and he'll come in and be like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "Nothing. No, I mean."
Is that like scenes too? Or is there like
you have to do bloopers? You have to record it. It would be
this just became that much better just because I know some of this is talked out now.
I listened to the book on audio, and the scene one. I think it was like chapter 1. And I was like afraid to go to chapter 2 because it was so intense, and it was great. Like it gets you from the beginning, and that's what I love about your books. You put it in the beginning, and it's just like sucks you in. And that book did that for me, and I wasn't expecting it. So it was, like out of the blue. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so, I didn't expect that at all with the How to Lose the Guys in 10 Days, because the back never mentions anything, and then all of a sudden you open it up and it's like chapter 1, and there's a rape, and you're like, whoa, hey.
But
I get called on that a little bit. I think we learned a little bit of a lesson about trigger warnings or whatever, because I didn't mean.
I was fine with it. I mean, that's my jam, so I was fine with it. I loved it. I just was not prepared.
But one thing I absolutely love that you do is you make your books not just about the romance. It's like something more. You put extra in there, and I'm just here for it. Like you make this whole elaborate storyline, and it's just like you take me from the beginning to the end, and you walk me through everything, and I'm just like, I love. You have me from hello. Like literally, you have me from hello.
I get a little, I get a little bored sometimes, and I think it's my fault. Like I don't know how to build maybe a relationship that's that interesting in ordinary circumstances. Like so many really great authors can just, like I would say Lisa Kleypas is one of them. Like I've read some books of hers that I was riveted the whole time, and nothing much happened. There wasn't like any super subplots or whatever, but the characters were just so deep and incredible that they didn't need it. Like it wasn't necessary. But like something about my brain gets bored if I'm like, can we have just I've had those fights with my editor before. I'm like, just one dead body. Like if it's just one, or like, like just one thing.
I love it.
Just one, like just one fight, like one knife scene. Like how is he sexy if he can't cut a bitch? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
You're good. This is good.
But
I love it.
Chris has said worse.
I say way worse.
You're in good company. No, that's awesome.
Bianca just asked, how do I like my coffee?
Yes.
And I say, made by my husband. He makes it in the morning.
I have to beg for my husband to make me a cup of coffee.
God. You are so much like me. Yeah. My husband. Whatever you can bring me,
I just like it, I just do like some stevia and just dark. I like really dark roast, really strong. Coffee. I want to chew it. Coffee, yeah. Good.
Starbucks is your jam, because that's really strong coffee.
What?
How long have you been married?
I said it's Starbucks. Do you like Starbucks?
No, I usually do Seattle's Best, or there's this one called Wicked Wolf Coffee that's kind of local. Well, it's from Alaska, but it's really good. They have this one called Dead Man's Reach and one called Raven's Brew. And they're just like really dark and delicious. So I'll get those from like
everybody's gonna go get the coffee that Kerrigan drinks. So now when we
it's so good.
Like, her coffee too.
I'm like, one of my favorite authors likes this coffee, so I have to get that one. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like it's the one my one vice. Like I don't smoke. I get ulcers, so I don't drink that much. But I'll drink coffee.
Caffeine is your life.
Talking about us. Like, we spend so much money on books, but we don't go get our hair done. People aren't drinking alcohol like Jess. She doesn't like to drink. So she finds that she justifies going and buying 50 books from thrift books because
just to let you know, your books are not at a secondhand store, because when we see them, we buy them because we know we're going to give them to you. So you will not find your books anywhere at a secondhand bookstore. Like they're gone.
It's sad because there's a lot of secondhand bookstores in my town, but like I live in this place that's kind of an artisty community,
right?
But it's not a place that appreciates romance at all. So we have so many really cute little bookstores, and like none of them have a romance section.
Oh wow!
I'm like, that's terrible.
We don't live there.
I know. I'd be like hunting down in case you signed one, and I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Romance. Well, Kerrigan, we're gonna start your books on January 18th. We're gonna start with the Highwayman book 1. And Kerrigan has agreed to do a follow-up with us on March 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to read the series. We're going to jot down our questions or, what we want to talk to her about, what book we felt that we loved, the best, even though we're going to love all of them. But, the one that stands out for us.
And we tell you we love them all. It's going to be a real shocker that we love them all. It's going to be like, oh, we love them all. What a shock.
I also didn't get to pick the Scott Bed's wife and the Duke with the Dragon Tattoo. There's that's always kind of a question that I get, that the titles changed a little bit. And so that was something I also didn't do on my own. I was prompted. So
is that something that if they see something that they don't like because I don't know the publishing industry, if they see something that isn't selling or something they don't like, do they prompt you to change the title at that time?
I think it's more like they see something that is working. And I think a lot of the Avon authors like Tessa Dare and Sarah McLean were doing those kind of cute derivative titles, and they still are, of the When the Scott Ties the Knot and Say Yes to the Marquis, and Sarah has some really incredible ones too, like Rogue by Any Other Name and that kind of thing. And so my editor brought that to me and said, okay, well, if you're going after these readers, you probably need to do the same thing with your titles. And I was like, okay, I like the one word, kind of punchy,
yeah,
alliterative. I wanted them all to be H's, because I had the Highwayman, the Hunter, and the Highlander, and then I wanted to do the Hellion, the Heathen, and I can't remember what the other one was. The Hero, something, I can't remember. But yeah, it didn't work out. So then they were like, Dukes are selling, name things Dukes, and I was like, oh.
Everything has Duke in it.
Everything has a Duke in it now.
Whenever you put it as a title, I'll buy it. So it doesn't even matter. You'd be like, I know this one girl, she's gonna buy it regardless of what I write down on the title.
Thank you.
After I read that one novella, you just became an Autobot author for me. So
thank you. That's really sweet. I'm really excited. I right in March, the Devil You Know series, the last book's going to be out when we talk next, so that'll be fun. And I'll have just turned in. I just signed a series that's like a retelling of fairy tales, but in a dark Victorian. So that's going to be kind of my next jam. That's going to be.
Oh yeah! So. Thank you for dropping that gem. That's cool.
Oh my God!
After this,
you're telling.
Yeah.
I'm so that is my jam. That is seriously my jam.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like a Rapunzel. Can we get a little
Beauty and the Beast?
I feel like all my books are called Beauty and the Beast, but everybody's been like, oh, this is the Beauty and the Beast trope. I'm like, uh-oh, because they've said that about every book I've ever read. So yes, definitely. But there's going to be a Cinderella. I think is going to be the first one, but it'll be like a Cinderfella. And so far,
I love it.
Short description would be that it's about twins. So there's the Cinderfella and then there's the Beast, and he's a what? I just forgot the word. I don't know what's wrong with me today. A blacksmith. Thank you. So he's a blacksmith. So he has blacksmith body, that kind of thing, and then he inherits a title, but since he's a twin, they don't know who was born first, so it may be his brother's, but his brother's in an insane asylum because he has epilepsy, but they don't know what that is right now.
Ooh, I love that you bring that in there. I love that.
So, I have siblings.
Let me know when I can pre-order.
I have two children that are diagnosed with epilepsy, so that I love that you're bringing that to the forefront. That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah. Maybe that. Possibly. There's 4, so there's going to be a Sleeping Beauty situation. I think.
Ooh, Sleeping Beauty.
But when you're picking these, do you already have them in your head? I know I'm going to be writing about this fairy tale or this one, or does it just come later in the series when in your writing process? Oh, okay, well, next maybe I start writing and then see which fairy tale comes along that kind of fits that?
I think it's more the characters than the fairy tale. Like, I've wanted to write a fairy tale series for a really long time. I was holding out to be able to write something paranormal because the Victorian rebels were supposed to be paranormal. I wrote the Highwayman 3/4 of the way through, and they were like Victorian werewolves. They were a werewolf pack, not a criminal organization. So like, then my agent said, like, I can't sell paranormal to save my life. Like, no one's, like, it was kind of post Twilight, you know, and everybody was tired of it. And so she's like, these need to just be regular people. And I was like, okay. So I wrote the werewolves out of it. So I did want to write kind of a fairy tale series that was a little bit paranormal, but that's not my brand now. And so I was kind of like, I just want to write them. Like, I love the Cinderella trope so much, you know, and I just love everything that goes into it and how fairy tales are actually supposed to be dark and sexy and kind of, you know, so
grim.
I want to be true to that. Grim. Yeah, they're supposed to be grim. I like that a lot. I might even work that into the tale a little bit.
Do it.
But,
yeah. Because you have a dark element that I absolutely adore that a lot of people look over, but you put it in there very well. Like, you just slide it right on in there and it works really well.
Yeah, I do want to write a big bad wolf. Like, I really love to redeem villains, so I think that'll definitely be, I don't know how to exactly do the Little Red Riding Hood part. I'll probably figure that out, but that will for sure be
a good villain.
Like, there will be a big bad wolf. Like, that'll probably be his name.
A werewolf.
I don't know.
Werewolf that turns good. Like, he's a bad guy and then he turns good. I'm there for it. Sign me up.
I'm like loving this Little Red Riding Hood, like werewolf thing. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to do the werewolf. Like, I've already turned in the proposal for it and everything. So he can't be an actual wolf, but
will you ever go back to paranormal, you think, like later down? Because you're going to be like famous for a long time. So like later down the road, like will you ever go back to paranormal?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Because I have a really big epic series that I want to write. And I wanted to write it forever. And it's actually kind of another retelling of fairy tales, but it's very, very, very fantasy, very, vampire versus werewolf versus fairy tales. It's Celtic. It's all druids. Like,
oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's huge, but it's a big undertaking, and it goes through lots of like different times because of the immortal aspect. So I kind of wanted to place it in the different like times when really incredible things were happening in the world, and like figure out how these women who were druids and the men who were like the werewolves who are supposed to protect them changed history, like in the middle, kind of like Forrest Gump, but hot. You know what I mean? Like, when they were there when something huge was happening, and this is what really happened, kind of thing. Yeah. And then this is what the history book said. So, and then the Sleeping Beauty one was going to be a vampire who had been asleep for a very long time. And then it was going to be like,
Harrigan, we need these now.
I know. I'm ready to buy them like tomorrow. Like, I'm like, sign me up. Like, just take my money at this point.
Oh my God.
I will never run out of ideas. So that's,
and you will never run out of fans because we are going to support you hardcore. So
I feel like I peaked at the Highwayman, honestly. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
No way. No, that was your jumping point.
Yeah, that was your starting point. You have a long road ahead of you.
Like, this is amazing. I mean, I didn't think you could top the Highwaymen, but this did. So, I mean, let's see what else you've got.
Yeah.
Can I just talk to you every day? Stop blushing. I feel like I'm a fever now.
We can do this weekly if you want
to put up with us, but like, you come on. It's like hanging out with us too. Just kidding.
You guys are amazing. I want to get to know you guys too. Like, I want to ask everybody questions.
Oh yeah.
You can. We talk a lot about sex.
A lot.
Oh my God. Like, that's terrible.
And purple penises.
So, how did you?
Oh my God, you guys! I'm the PG one of the group. PG-13.
Oh.
I'm the triple X rated over here.
Yeah, same.
I made like eggplant ornament. We did a little like a little craft show where we were just like talking and making crafts and like making ornaments, and then we're gonna send it to whoever wanted. So I made these little eggplant ornaments.
Oh, I love
that. It's a penis on its nose.
Kerrigan, they're trying to see how red they can get me because I blush really quick, you know? Like I love reading the books. That's fine. But like talking about it, I get a little red.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been doing this? How did you put this together?
Well, not very long. It all started with me and Alicia. We were talking about two and a half months ago.
Yeah, like October-ish, end of September, October. The Bridgerton started coming out, and we have been reading historical romance for a long time. And I said, I have not read Bridgerton. Am I the only person who hasn't? And Christina said, I haven't either. And then Jessica said, like, I haven't either. And then Natasha said, like, I haven't either. And Carrie said, I haven't either. And like, we just kind of got together and we're like, let's all read these together. And people were very excited about it and interested in it. And we've had the Discord chats, and Julia Quinn was fantastic in that she sent us a bunch of like signed books that we could give away. And we've just been giving away books. And every week we've had this chat where we talk about the book we read the past week. And then this week we talked all about the show. So we gave people time to, watch the show. And then we talked about that, and so now we're gonna move into.
And then we talked about the controversy. We touched on the controversy.
I'm really bummed that I missed that. So you guys post this on YouTube, right?
Yes. Yeah. So this whole channel. We did the first half on Jess's channel. Jess is a teacher, so she wants to, she has to keep her page PG because a lot of her students follow her page. So yes, we have, of course, we respect that because.
Of course.
It's my job.
Okay, I like my job.
And so we did the first half on her channel where we talked about book 8. And then because my channel is just let it go, say whatever the hell you want, I don't care. We came onto my channel to do all the stuff that, was a little bit more controversial. So we talked about the consent. We talked about the racial issues and, some of the stuff surrounding the show. And we talked about the, what's his name? Weatherington and him being gay and how they had to hide the fact that they were gay and stuff like that. So we talked about that. And then we were waiting for you and everybody was like, what's going on?
I know, we all did not know.
That was my fault.
I'm so sorry. No. I could have done the math too. I didn't. I was just like, do. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a nurse. I should be able to calculate and I was completely off.
You're a nurse. That's crazy.
I will not give you any IV medication because obviously my math was not great.
I want to give you a hug right now. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a pediatric home care nurse, so I'm in the field, but I'm not on the floor. So it's still risky, but I'm okay.
But you're with the baby. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. It's great though. It's rewarding.
What do you? So teacher, nurse. What do you guys do?
I am a human resource manager for one of the state agencies here.
Oh, props.
So
I
have great stories.
I am a stay-at-home mom, so I get to hang out with my kids all day and feel really lucky to hang out with them.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I've got 3. I've got an 8, a 6, and a 3-year-old. So if I'm tied up one day, someone bail me out.
Oh man. That's the hardest job.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's COVID time, so it really kind of just worked out.
That's good because you're a teacher now too. That you're home and they're home.
Yeah. I was a homeschooler, so they went half. So it was like they went partial to their programs, and then I homeschooled half the time. So I have a lot of respect for Jessica and what she does because it's not always easy. But I feel like she kind of gets the benefit of the doubt because she's the teacher. Since I'm mom, like they can like walk over me and they're like, "Oh, you're mom. Good luck with you."
You're a queen in every country but your own. That's
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have huge respect for what Jessica is doing.
Me too.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just staying home. I was working earlier this year or 2020, and my job went away because of the pandemic. So just my kid wasn't in school, so I had no childcare, so I stayed home, and now I'm kind of like seeing now that schools are started back up here. I'm in Georgia. Schools have started back up, but will they really stay open? And our case count is going up and up and up. So now I'm glad I don't have to. I'm glad I don't have to like go to a job, because then what do you do with your kid? So
I know. Crazy, crazy time.
There's been a lot of time to like read and meet new friends.
Bianca says,
and this stuff keeps me sane. I actually have like a really bad phobia of public speaking, or and I've said a lot of yeses that I regretted later to like Zoom calls and that kind of thing.
Right.
I feel like I'm getting better at it, and now I'm kind of like, this is the only interaction I get with people. So I don't even know how to people anymore, really. So I don't know.
Right. You have to like relearn that little trait, like how to communicate. And even I mess up sometimes. I'm like, oops, did I just say that? Yes, I did.
Well, that's my whole life. Maybe that's the answer to people. I'm not very good in person. Like, I will write a letter if you want me. Like, I'll write it down to communicate sometimes. But I had a really bad stutter as a kid, and most of my family's a little bit on the spectrum, so we struggle a little verbally sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I was a struggling reader. So like for me growing up, I always struggled to read. So it was like, I'm almost better with speaking. Like sometimes with the girls, I'm like, can I talk to you instead of typing it out? Because for me, like I see what's being written and I'm thinking that I'm writing like the D's and the S's, but they're not there. So that's interesting. I would rather talk to someone than actually have to like type it all out. I like to say, hey, that was a typo from like Instagram or whatever, just throwing it out there. But sometimes
so we've talked with Carrie because she did have a lot of trouble growing up with her reading issues. So in a couple of months, we're going to be doing some. Go ahead, Carrie. You want to talk about it since you're going to be?
I mean, we're just going to try to do
literacy awareness.
Right. March. It's March for Literacy. So we're going to try to put something together for like a March for Literacy, and like to get like booktubers together and maybe whoever wants to get together and kind of promote like what it is to struggle with reading or not have access to books or not be able to read. And I feel like as like booktubers to have that platform to promote reading, since that's what we love to do. And like, I went from reading like no books to reading, I think my score was like 137 books this year. And I'm pretty proud of that. I feel like that. Yeah. I mean, I went from nothing to that. And I feel like it's kind of my success story. And someday in the future, I'd like to write a book, like not like tomorrow or anything, but like someday in the future. Cause I could be like, it took me to like 6th or 7th grade to really get to read, like actually read a sentence. And it's like, it's not so much reading the sentence. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's not really reading the sentence, but it's actually like processing the words. Cause I was so excited. I read the sentence. I'm like, I forgot to process. Like it didn't really correlate for me. And it's
no, I think that's amazing. I mean, I have a niece right now who's having that same problem. Right. She's in 8th grade, and she gets good grades and everything, but she was struggling with tests, and they figured out it's because she can read fine,
right? But
her comprehension is still at a 2nd grade level, and it's not that she doesn't comprehend words; she communicates well, everything's fine, but just it's not that she doesn't understand the content of the test; it's that she doesn't comprehend the question. She just doesn't understand.
Right. It's reading, that lack
what
of
she reads. She can't store what she reads. Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't realize that was a skill.
Retention, right? That too.
Yeah. That can be taught.
And it's hard too, because when they time those tests, you're under pressure. So it's like, it's literally like you're constantly looking at the clock and you're like, okay, that clock is still ticking, but you're like having to take these tests, and it's not like you're reading the sentence. And sometimes I got so frustrated. You'd have to read a sentence like 10 times for it to stick. And it was just like so frustrating. And you're not dumb. Like, you're not dumb. You're brilliant. But it's just one of those things of like, there's like something's not firing correctly.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just one of those things where like I know really smart people that just, you know, that's just not something that's clicking with them. So hence why audiobooks in me are like this. But there's other reasons too. With little kids.
I love
like,
audiobooks too.
Yeah. I own one physical copy of your books, but the rest of them are on audio. Like, I own all of them on audio. So
Good.
sorry.
I have an audio question for you guys. Do you enjoy it when there's one narrator, or if there's like somebody doing the female parts and the male parts?
I love a full cast audiobook.
A full cast.
I love it. It's just, to me, it just creates a better visual, because I struggle sometimes with, and it doesn't happen often, but sometimes narrators will forget when they're supposed to be in another character, and they'll keep reading it as the same one. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is the next character now. But a full cast audio just kind of brings extra life, I think, to it. So
yeah, or when one of them is the narrator and the guy's voice eventually goes in there. So it's kind of like I remember Callie Dalton reading one, and then the guy voice kind of came in as his voice, but she kind of read the whole thing. I was down with that too. As long as the guy voice was different than the girl voice, like that to me is like money.
Awesome. It looks like a lot of the people who are commenting like full casts too. I've really fallen in love with it. I retained my audio rights for the Good Girls that I'm doing, and I kept Derek because I heart him very much. And I hired Stella to do the women, Stella Hunter, who's the narrator, and I really enjoyed having. So a couple of people said that the duet narration maybe throws them off a little because they're not ready for it. But I really love having the women done in a female voice and the men done in a male voice. It just works. I just think it's fun.
I agree. I like it when and then there's like the sexy time. You're not like, what?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, especially when the guy has to do the girl voice. You're like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
There's some female narrators that do a bomb guy though that they do it, and you're like, is that the same person? You can barely tell that it's legit person. They switch over.
Right.
Like I'm listening to a Lorraine Heath that she is on audio, and who I don't even know the name of the narrator for these books, but I legit thought it was a man and a woman, and it's one woman, and I'm like, oh.
Oh wow! Is it Rosalind Landor? She kind of has like a smoky voice, and she does a lot of historical romances. And when she does men, I'm like, that works. She does that growly kind of like she really does.
It probably is.
She's one. I would say Barbara Rosenblatt and Rosalind Landor are both like so good at doing male voices. But I have kind of a personal relationship with my narrator too. We've just chatted back and forth and stuff, and he's like this adorable guy from Wales who's like 60 and is a businessman who's sort of like retired, and then he always wanted to do voice work, and like he's such a gentleman, and he's so like proper, and so I have moments because I asked him first, I'm like, these are kind of sexy. Are you okay with that? He's like, oh yeah, I'm European. We're fine with sexy. And I'm like, okay. But like, I still cringe because he's just this like sweet, very,
like a grandpa.
very, yes. And then I'm just like, I have moments where I'm like, how many cocks?
He slams her against the desk and takes her.
Exactly. Or he'll just say something, or or they'll be dirty together, and I'm like, I'm gonna make Derek say that later. Like I have shame about it.
You know what though? Any neighbor, I read all your books through narrations, and I liked all your narrators. There was not one where I was like, this is terrible. I really enjoyed all the people that you had narrate. So you had good narrators.
Very much. It's mostly been Derek. I think the only one that's different guy is Shane East as my Christmas story. But
I listened to him on the How to Love a Duke in 10 Days. So if it was Derek, you did a great job.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He does all the Victorian Rebels, and he did all of my novellas. So we've been together for a while.
Well, he's great.
He's really great.
So if he did the female Bryce, I didn't even notice. Like I was like,
he does pretty well. He does a pretty like breathy, chill. Like
right.
I really think he does a great job. I haven't had any complaints, but I just wanted to try it just to be like, what if the girls were girls?
Right.
You know. So.
Yeah. If you need a girl recommendation, Kelly Dalton is bomb.
Okay.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Mariana Zapata uses her a lot for all her indies.
I've seen Rosalind Landor is the best.
She probably is.
So good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for coming on, Kerrigan.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
If you are ever bored and want to hang out,
always come on.
I don't that I get sick of me.
I know you talked about Jess and Chris' channel, but I have a little channel too. Like it's very small, but we can hang out anytime.
We have Wednesday night chat group.
Right.
You know,
we have a coffee chat
everything.
Wednesday night. Come hang out with us.
Oh, amazing. Okay, that sounds fun. I'm jealous of you guys. I'm like, I want a Wednesday night coffee. That's what I want in my day.
Yeah, girl, cool. You come on with us. You come on anytime.
Awesome. Wait. We need her to write these books that she's talking about too. Okay.
Well, yeah, but I don't know what she's writing.
I don't write at night, so I'll.
She's right. Like,
listen, Kerrigan, hit me up. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link.
Right.
Sometimes we get a little
free.
We drink wine.
I've got nothing else to do.
Right.
Okay.
We drink wine in our little cups.
and we say some pretty raunchy things sometimes. Yeah.
Good. I am incredibly inappropriate. I've been trying to. Yes. I am going to get canceled any moment. So get ready for that.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So, Chris, what the day does our first book start? For this
January 18th.
For this awesome, phenomenal series. We are doing The Highwayman. It is phenomenal. So good.
It's going to be so much fun. There you go. Natasha has it up right there.
And it's funny because I started reading this book because somebody named Jess from Peace Love Books decided to put it on her dang channel before I had a booktube, right? So I'm like, sure, since Jess is reading it, of course I'm going to read it. So yeah. She's promoted your books for forever.
Just put us on for real. Yeah, they're props.
Thank you.
No problem. I don't want this night to ever end.
Me neither. I've had you for like how long? 20 years. So I'll probably.
We're up to 3 hours now on our lives.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry you guys had to wait. Again, I'm really sorry.
No.
It wasn't your fault. Again, I can calculate.
And you were well worth the wait. So our group is ecstatic. So.
Thank you.
Very down to earth, very cool. Like you made this whole experience just like bomb. Like total new spin on what it's like to talk to an author, and you're like,
I know,
like it just feels
5 stars. Like you've already set the expectation for other authers up here. I'm kind of nervous to talk to another author now.
No, they're all going to come on and be so great.
Well, look.
There's like all the ones I've met anyway. I usually am just kind of like, I don't belong here. Everybody.
Oh no.
Everybody's so smart.
Share a piece of advice with you.
So nice.
A good friend of mine named Alicia shared a piece of advice with me that I will share with you, because before we got on, I was super fangirling and like, oh my God, what do I say?
God, no, don't say this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it, girl. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Do I ask questions? What am I supposed to look like? So what she said to me was that
it was like you just got out of the shower.
She said, "You're a person too, and you poop like everybody else. So
I put my stretchy pants on one leg at a time.
Where was the conversation?
You know, I never thought we'd do a live with Kerrigan Byrne and we're going to talk about she poops like everybody else.
You can't get.
I never thought that would be my. So Kerrigan,
I
every
don't know.
time
I can say that is true. Everybody shits.
you know what?
Everybody.
At least you will
Yeah.
remember this live with us someday. You're gonna be like, you talk with 5 girls. And they were
Next
just
time I
like,
come on, my best friend Cynthia got me a little cup, and it says "Coffee makes me poop" because we have this like inside joke about like or whatever. So like, but we don't poop joke.
and
yeah.
we
I need that
also
morning cup of coffee to keep you regular.
right.
Yeah.
And we need to like figure out t-shirts for your book too, because is there any
Okay.
famous sayings in your book that we need to like put on a t-shirt? Because we've got these Penelope's and Eloise for the Bridgerton ones. So
Yes,
we need
we
a
gotta
shirt
make
for your
some
book.
Carrying Burn. Like, what about like Feel the Burn and like
Feel the burn. I like that.
Feeling the burn.
Feel
I
the burn.
like that. I really like that. I think that's
Like,
awesome.
yeah. Are you feeling the burn? And then like be like
Feeling
a
the
Kerrigan
burn.
Byrne book on there or something.
That'd be cool. If you want, you could put a raven on there because Burn is Irish for raven.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right.
So next
and
time we
it's
see
dark.
you, we might have matching shirts on that say "Feel the Burn" with a
That's
raven.
adorable. I want one. Yeah.
Done
you.
and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the back is gonna say "Coffee makes me poop," right?
No, mine won't say
No.
that. Yours will say that.
That'll be another shirt that we have.
In the
We'll have
back.
a shirt
Yeah.
that says "Coffee makes me poop,"
I'll have to
and
show
then
you.
it'll just say like
I'll
"Pee
bring
me
the
out."
link next time to the mug. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll be wearing a jacket with my
No, we don't. We definitely don't need to put that on. I'm not like a bathroom humor person either,
So much
but
fun.
Apparently I am.
We burn for you. We burn
oh
for
my
you.
gosh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
That's
so cute.
hot. Yeah, that's so cute. I love it.
So cool.
I feel like we
Guys
should
are
see
so
one
clever.
of these sayings in their next book. We burn for you.
We burn for you. Okay. I can do that.
Oh my gosh. You're like my new favorite person.
You
Remember,
got
guys.
me. No.
Did I
That's
do good,
funny.
guys, or did I deliver, or did I deliver? I delivered.
Oh my
right?
gosh, I'm so fangirling right now. She's gonna be like, put the restraining order on the girl at the bottom left.
It's just funny to me. It's weird. It's funny to me because that people even read my stuff is still very strange.
Really?
Oh my God. Because, yeah, I've just been sketching in notebooks and writing, like reading was the only thing I was ever good at in school. Like everything else I was pretty terrible. So like, and writing is the only thing I ever wanted to do, but it's still kind of like, I can't believe it's working. I don't know. I still have those moments where I'm waiting for people to figure out that like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Everybody's just that way.
You might have to wait a while because no one's gonna ever say that because you are
No
awesome
idea.
and you are amazing.
Yeah.
So no way. No way.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Aw.
So thank you
We
for
love you, Carrie.
making me feel
Thank you so
great.
much.
You made like my whole year. I'm just gonna like
Oh,
prance
good.
around on my cloud.
It's been 2 days in 2021. I'm glad I'm
They haven't been too bad yet. So far, so good.
We thought that last year
I-
too. So
I already failed on
Alright.
my diet, so so now
Oh,
everything's just
Let's
happening.
not even talk about diets. I'm waiting for my Peloton to come. That's what I bought. I bought a Peloton because Alicia made me do it. No, she's inspiring me.
Okay, so I'm waiting to record this story because Jess is going to post like her running time of like 26 minutes. And then I want to post my time of like 33 minutes right underneath there. Because it's going to be like young girl running time and then like old girl running time.
Oh my
Sorry, I thought
goodness.
that was funny.
Running.
Girl, it's still slow. It's slower than molasses. It's like literally like
At
I
least
feel
you're
like
getting out
5
there.
minutes.
I'll be the person on the sideline drinking a glass of wine, watching the both of you run.
Amen. I'll be like, do you guys need any cheese? I'll be over here.
Right.
With the plate.
Pass the
Pretty
crackers
much.
while I'm on the Peloton. I'll
Yeah,
be stuffing
my
my
blood is these days. My blood is like mostly Irish butter and cheese. Like that's.
Oh my god, Kerry
You
butter.
Hey,
Yeah.
butter's great.
Yeah,
I'm all about butter.
the Irish butter is just ridiculously good.
Can't
This
make
is now
it
their
right
number
without
one
the
export. So I just downloaded Noom. I'm like, okay, on Monday. I'm starting on Monday.
Like
the
wonder if it
Noom
works.
app. It's kind of
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like
like
an
a
app.
dieting app or something?
Yeah, it's like Weight Watchers kind of, but it's supposed to be like it uses cognitive behavioral therapy to like, because I'm like a habitual eater and an emotional eater and a bored eater.
Bored right here, all in the boredom.
Yeah, like just
Quarantine
I just
did
and
me
I
so bad.
love to cook, and I don't love to cook. Well, I do love to cook. Like I bitch the whole time about it, but I really end up enjoying it.
You love when people say your food is good too, right?
Yes.
I love when I get
Well, that's the
compliments
thing
on my
too.
food.
Is like most of the time I'm like, this is good, but I could probably make it better, and then I go home and make it the way I really wanted to eat it, you know? And so like I kind of do that with books too, where I think that's why I became a writer, because I would read books and I'd be like, that's not how I would have done it.
Right.
And then I write that trope, like this is how I wanted to read that or whatever. Right. Not that I think other people do a good job. It's just
but it was like how
this is the story. Yeah, this is the story how I wanted it to be told, or the character how I wanted it to be. So I do that with food too. And then I'm also like I'm a snacker. And then I sit. So I'm like, okay, I've got to get on top of this because I'm supposed to go to Europe next year. Well, it's supposed to be this year, but it got canceled for obvious reasons.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, and I don't want to like get out of breath, like walking up the stairs in Scottish castles and stuff.
Well,
like I need to get my shit together.
I
don't know what that is.
You don't know what is that? It's a bike.
No, if it has to do with running, it is not going to happen.
No. It's biking.
It's station like
it's a bike with a big seat that hurts your ass.
Stop. And they have amazing classes. They have like hip hop. Beyonce has like a Peloton series. Alicia, talk about it. This is your thing. You the one that got me.
I'll just gush. I will just gush because it's like my thing. It is.
I feel like a bike seat though because
I am not. Yeah, I need a big booty seat. Yeah, I'm not trying to get a stationary bike.
I got a big booty too, honey. You don't know.
Girl, we were just talking about Simon and how I have enough booty for both of us. Like literally, I'm okay with that. Like, yeah,
he had no ass.
He got no butt, but I have plenty of butt for both of us, so we're good to go.
That's a great. I was talking to my friend Stacey Hart today. She said we were just talking about like his O face is really great though.
Oh, Simon?
Yeah. We had a whole conversation about that.
He did a really good job on that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt like Daphne's was a little pained. Like, I feel like her sex face was a little...
I wasn't feeling Daphne at all. Like, period.
I feel like he carried all of their chemistry. Like she's so young looking. Sometimes I got a little bit like, are you sure she's not like 16? Like 15?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, she's so young looking. And she's so delicate and beautiful, but like when it came to like the actual chemistry, he exuded all of that in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like
but what are your thoughts on the spoon?
Oh God, the spoon.
I love the spoon. Oh my God.
I love the spoon. Like he was
girl.
He could have licked it a little bit more aggressively. I think he was
no way.
The size. He was
too gentle with it.
Like
not everything is so wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Can you enjoy the spoon?
No, that's the only time he
spoon.
We were definitely like, okay, that's technique. Like he is showing off his technique there.
So do you ever get like inspiration after watching a series like that? And you're like, I'm going to go right now because I've got my inspiration. Yeah. Like you don't take anything from them, obviously, but you're like, I've got inspiration now. Like here we go.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, absolutely. Well, like, and I have to be careful about that too, because a lot of times I'll watch a scene on TV, and I do this more with TV than I do with books.
Right.
So but I'll be like, okay, that scene. Like that situation is totally doing something for me. Like, I don't know. how obvious it was that I was in the middle of like super watching Dexter while I was writing The Hunter, who is also
I'm gonna keep that in mind when I'm reading The Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, rereading
so
it.
Stuff like that where I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, like I am into this, I'm putting it in a book. So I definitely do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
The spoon is its own character. Yes, it's called Forky. Oh my God, this was so.
Sorry, I'll start asking you questions because you guys probably have to go.
No, you have to go. I feel like I might be keeping you, and you're probably like, all right, I'm over it. Like, let me go.
I have nothing to do. I'm literally like after this gonna play Assassin's Creed until I go to bed. Like that's my whole plan. I have no plans for
What is
tonight.
that like?
You don't mind me
Xbox,
asking? Are you Pacific Coast Standard Time? Are you Central? Are you East?
I'm Pacific. I live in Washington.
Okay, so you're in my time zone. So yeah, so it's only 8 o'clock for us. So we're like, hey,
a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm up.
Yeah,
I just had dinner.
Right. I haven't eaten yet, but that's where I'm headed after this. But yeah,
I was gonna ask that too. Like, do you guys usually get together physically? Because I thought maybe you're just doing this.
So I'm in New York.
We hope to.
I'm in Long Island. Jess,
I'm in Atlanta.
I'm in Ohio.
She's in Ohio.
I'm in Virginia.
You're everywhere, and
I'm in California.
California. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Atlanta. But hopefully when the world gets back to some kind of normal, we can meet up and do some kind of a book event to get together.
Do you guys go to conferences ever? Like, is that something you enjoy doing?
Jess says, yeah. I haven't.
I've only been to just local when authors come to the bookstores here locally. The last one I went to was in 2018, and Brenda Novak came to a very small cafe here, so I went there. And yeah, she's so sweet. She's super down to earth. I mean, her books are amazing. So yeah,
I love romantic suspense.
Yeah,
one of my favorite things to read. So.
Well, I feel like some of your books are very suspenseful. Like I feel that. I'm like, I get a little suspenseful.
Oh yeah. I like mystery was really my first love. Like I love a good mystery with mystery romance together. Like
yes,
my editor has to pull me back on all time where she's like, there's too much plot in this book, not enough romance. Like you gotta pull that back. And I'm like, okay, but I really love mysteries. I really love thrillers. I really love whodunit. Like
yes,
it's a lot of fun for me. And it's so sad for me when the romance is left out of that. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Or when people think that they don't write romance, but they do. Like there's a lot of guys even, like I read some like Lee Child and stuff, or Harlan Coben, that they always write tons of romance into their books. You know, and if there was just a little bit hotter sex, like you could say
it's romance.
There's like it's a cross genre, like a romantic thriller.
Right.
You know.
I love cozy.
I need someone to recommend me a good thriller. Every thriller that I've read, I figure out the ending. They don't thrill me.
Like it has to have that good twist. It's got to have the twist.
I want to be surprised, and I feel like I'm never surprised. I don't know.
The one, they're making a movie out of it. The Woman in the Window. Like I loved the movie Rear Window growing up.
I started that audiobook. Didn't finish it.
Didn't? I really liked that one. But I listened to it too. Like I listened to a lot of thrillers, which is really fun. And then I just read one called The Kind Worth Killing, which was very good. And my favorite one. Okay, my favorite one is by Dot Hutchison. And for some reason I can't remember anything right now. Give me a second. But it's fabulous, and it's very dark because it's about women who get kidnapped.
The Butterfly Garden?
The Butterfly Garden. Thank you. Yeah, like they get together. Love that book. Loved that book.
Okay, so I'm bad. Sometimes I'll start something and not finish. I started that when I'm like, I loved it, and then I put it down and never picked it up again. So now I got to finish it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Is this the one that you were talking about? The Kind Worth Killing?
Yeah, The Kind Worth Killing.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. a whole lot.
Yeah, Chris. And then you could brag that Kerrigan Byrne recommended this book to me, and you're gonna be like, wham.
Yeah, I read a lot. I read a lot of thrillers. That's
so I read
definitely
Riley
something.
Sager. I read Home Before Dark and the other one with the hotel. The pink. She has. There's a pink one and a green one. I don't know. Have you guys read them? Those are pretty decent. They weren't bad.
Yeah, I've read all of his books.
I'd probably say like 4 stars. They were good.
And more
But
romance,
still not a big surprise to me. I want something that's just gonna like shock the shit out of me. I even tried Stephen King.
I don't read a lot of Stephen King. I tried that too.
I tried it.
Yeah, and I didn't.
Same.
Didn't change my life. I don't hate it, but I don't. It's just not me. Dean Koontz had a couple of good ones, if I remember correctly. Like Odd Thomas was really good.
Oh, my mom brags about that one all the time. She loved Odd Thomas.
It was really good. I really love John Le Carré, but he very involved though. Like you kind of have to be in the mood for something really twisty, not twisted, in a way. Like, but if you're wanting to watch something, like that's one of the things I liked John Le Carré books back when I was younger and I had more time to read and a longer attention span. but they made a lot of really good movies and stuff, like The Night Manager with Tom Hiddleston. They made from one of his books. So good. I mean, so good. And then Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, it has like Benedict Cumberbatch and like an incredible.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is really, really good. But it's not like thrillers are nowadays where they're kind of shocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So In a Dark Wood, it was another one that was good by Ruth Ware. That was really good.
I was just saying, I read that in elementary school. I'm thinking about the story. You know, the kid story, the version of it. No, you guys.
Oh no, huh?
In a dark wood, in a dark house, in a dark closet, there was a dark witch.
What are you reading in elementary school?
Find the Witch in the Wardrobe or something.
And then the girl's head fell off. You didn't read that?
Oh wait,
I read that. But I think this one is a derivative title of that. That's like an adult.
You know what I'm talking about, Kerrigan, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yes. I remember. I specifically remember that. I don't know if that's what it was.
Ghost Stories? Was it Ghost Stories?
Wasn't it like
there's Dark House and I know this one.
You had a red ribbon and
like
she took it off and her head fell off.
Yes. No, that's the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book. Yeah.
Yes.
They just made a series of that too. Okay. But I like haven't been able to bring myself because that's so pristine to me. Like I was just obsessed with that as a kid. You know, like I read.
I'm gonna traumatize my kids and make them watch it.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Because I love like when I was at 5th grade or whatever, I read like all of the R.L. Stine Goosebumps books.
Me too.
In 1 year, you know, and I was like, I read all of the Nancy Drew books, and then like I was like, Hardy Bugs can suck it because I just did not enjoy them. But like, love Nancy Drew. I like wanted to be her when I grow up, and I wasn't.
Oh, that's sweet. That's so sweet.
But you're not Nancy Drew. You're Kerrigan Byrne.
You're even better.
Yeah. I'm not a plucky actress.
We would not be fangirling right now over Nancy Drew. Think about that.
No way. Yeah, absolutely not. I'm so excited. So we'll see you next. Unless you want to see us next, just DM us at any time. But
I don't want to harass you. I'm not gonna like bug you. So like if you're like, Chris, if you guys are on this week, let me know, and then I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you
and if you do hit me up for anything, I don't get right back to you. That's nothing personal. I am being more careful about how much time I spend on social media, so I'm trying to only check it about 2 times a day.
That's smart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to be more present and less angry.
Right.
So,
I know. That's a good idea.
One of my things.
We would read a lot more if we were less on our phones, right?
I agree. Yes. Like all my kids are trying to get me on TikTok, and I'm like, no, I do not need another thing in my life.
Don't do it. I made the mistake of downloading an app.
I
get online for like 2 minutes and an hour goes by.
And then I found myself I found this tortoise and Chunk the groundhog. Like I just started watching all these animal videos. Like, oh my gosh, these animals are giving me life. And so, like, and now I was like, okay, well, this is bad. Like, I'm just gonna check on my groundhog all day. I'm not even gonna write any books. So I just deleted it. I put it down.
And if you need any support on helping you write books, I am here for you. 110%. You're like, no,
bounce ideas off of us anytime.
Thank you. It has been more difficult to be creative this year. Like, I'm not alone in that. You know, like it has been more difficult to like think about hopeful thing.
Your mind out of the like dump of what 2020 is to focus on anything.
Totally. Like, and I at first I was kind of like, is it just me? But I mean, even Tessa Dare is like pushing a bunch of her book releases back because she just can't write. And so many of us are just like, I can't. I mean, I was late turning in 2 books. It was like, it's just been hard, kind of.
I mean, I guess that's kind of like I can speak for myself. Like in the beginning, when everything like first started happening, like March, April, May, I couldn't read. I couldn't even pick up a book. It wasn't until like maybe June, July that I was able to finally like start. I think everything had to set in like with the realism of like what was going on, like everything, till I could finally pick up a book. And then we met these ladies, and this is our therapy. Like that's why we meet every Wednesday, because we're stuck in our homes. We can't get together with anyone, but we can get together with each other through Zoom and talk about things that we like with people that like have the same likes as us.
Bring you joy. It's good to focus on the stuff that brings you joy.
You know, like Jess, did you know, is Tessa Dare, is that 2 years?
No, she said it's like a placeholder date, but there's no actual like update yet of when it's coming out.
Bummer. Yeah. Tessa Dare is another. Yeah, she's another favorite. We've got our favorites. You're up there with her. Like you were.
Oh my gosh, I could not even touch. Like she's amazing. Oh yeah, you're touching. You're right. No, oh my god.
No,
I met her one time, but like she's so smart. Like she's one of those people too that I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous, because what have I done during quarantine? Like I was going to be like, maybe I need to learn more Spanish. Like I really want to get good at other languages. I really am going to get in shape. Like I took on all of these writing things because I was like, what am I going to do? I'm sitting at home, so I'm going to write a bunch of books, which it's been hard to do that. I way overpromised myself because I was like, oh, I could just do this all of the time, because when everything's fine, I can do it. But I'm also busy. Now that I'm not busy, I could just write all day, kind of thing. And I was totally wrong about that. Like, but she's like, I'm learning Latin, and I'm like, she's like coming up with all of these like really clever tweets. Like she's like, she's like following all the politics, and like she knows all of the things. I don't know. Like every time I read something from her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so smart. I love her. Like, I want to be here when I grow up.
We're baking brownies.
We're probably
like literally, you and her are just like, you might as well be besties, because like literally, like you and her book, both your books are amazing authors of 2020.
I love her. She's funny too. I'm really jealous of people who are funny. She is hysterical. So
life goals right there. Be hysterical.
Yeah. Be funny.
Right.
Because I love comedy. Like that's what I do for fun. I love like listening to comedy. I love going to live comedy shows and stuff. I love to laugh. Like I love funny people. Because I'm not one. Like I'm very type B personality. Like I'm very chill and even temperate, and like I have a zinger every now and again, and I'm like, look at that, look what I did. I did it clever. I made it funny.
You know what, girl? It's okay. We just think we're funny. So we're like, I'm funny. I think I'm funny. I'm okay with that. Like, I think I'm funny. Everybody else is like, no, you're not funny, but I am funny.
Like, don't.
Yeah, right. Right.
No, being witty is the equivalent of.
I agree. Witty is good. So
cool.
Anyway.
We had one question before we let you go. Bianca asked if you partner with a local bookstore that you would want people to order your books from.
Good question.
I should, because so many authors are doing that, and I've noticed that, and I thought that is an incredible idea. I have not done that because of aforementioned, like most bookstores in my area are not romance friendly, really. So I don't know. It's very strange. Like I have a lot of rare books. Like I spend a lot of time in there, but there's just most of them don't really have much of a romance section. So I have not done a lot of research on
Where
that.
would you like them to go buy your books?
I would say anywhere. If you find them in grocery stores or Walmart or that kind of thing, I think it's good to buy them from there because I feel like bookshelves are shrinking in places where they shouldn't be shrinking. So, I mean, in some places you go in and they're just end caps now, and there's just Harry Potter still up there or whatever. Yep. Like it's just not, you can't go and find like a whole. So I would say, just keep the books coming off the shelf wherever you want to.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard to find your books. Like trying to track down some of your books has been really hard to find.
The Duke. I don't know. I've been talking to my publisher. One of the things that's an issue is like paper, I guess, is we get a lot of our paper from China. There was a shortage and some books that have not been printed for a minute are hard to get their hands on. And it's been about a month since anybody could buy a copy of the Duke and they're like working on it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's eventually coming. It's just not out yet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like
cool.
I think what happened is they ran out of what was already there, and it came out so long ago that they're like a reprint is not the highest priority right now.
Right.
So,
as long as I could see it in my future, because I'm gonna buy all the hardcovers. I just don't, or not hard, but like mass market,
like the paper. Yeah.
Right. As long as they're in my future, I could wait.
Yeah, it'll be around. I think it's just kind of a COVID casualty. For a minute.
Which we all are. I feel like we're all COVID casualties, to be honest.
Seriously.
So shop local. Jessica also has some really good links to some like independent bookstores, right, Jess?
Oh, yeah, on my Instagram.
Yeah, so you guys can go to Jess's Instagram. Maybe she'll post some. So if you guys need to get your books for the readathon ready, you can go to Jessica and get all your books 1 through 7 until the March release, right?
Right.
Yep.
So
I know. Wait, is it releasing in March again? Just to confirm.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
You're releasing a book in March. The last one.
Yes, it's the final one of the Red Rogue trilogy. It's the Devil in Her Bed.
So. March 9, right? March 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah.
I am so pumped for that one.
That was my favorite one to write. That was the fun.
Oh my gosh, both of them were so good, but I want to see what happens. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them.
All right, Kerrigan. So thank you so much for being here with us. This was
a guys. You made my whole year. I love you.
You made hours.
You made hours. Like, forget it. 2021. We're starting with a boom.
With the bar high.
And bar really high. Yep.
And guess we'll see you like next week, and then we'll see you in a couple weeks. In 2 weeks.
Like probably. Yeah. I'm just probably gonna lurk in around you guys.
I'm gonna probably harass her like, are you doing it this Wednesday?
The answer is probably no. So I'll probably be around.
Come work. Hang out. Like we just hang out and talk.
Like I said, if you want to, hit me up. You have my just let me know Chris doesn't do anything, and then I'll send you the link.
Okay. Well, it's great to meet you. Thank
you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. See you guys.
That was awesome, guys. How cool was that?
Oh my gosh, are we? Well, are we still live streaming?
Let's tell everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the surprise. I hope you guys are excited about the Victoria Rebels series, the next readathon that we have coming up. We're gonna add some channels in the Discord so that we have a place to talk about what just happened today. And then as we move going forward,
we'll hang out with us every once in a while if we're not too busy.
Yeah, Jess is gonna join in. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
I saw some people say that it was worth staying up. She didn't need to sleep. I think she started at 3:00 in the morning where she was. So we've been on almost 3 hours. So it's from 3 to 6 in the morning that she's been on. So thanks for watching. We love you guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.